Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work-related.
Jay!
B, what's up?
How's it going?
You got me off guard, man. How did you do that? That's not how that, but I'm doing good, of course. I'm doing good.
Good. I want to welcome everyone to the Work-Related Podcast.
I guess we are still related by work on X.
On X, we are right now. We didn't check
That's
out Threads.
stupid. Or the other. We're going to wait to see who wins the Elon Musk fucking
The Elon
Zuckerberg
Musk
fight.
thing? Yeah, we will.
What's
But
that all about?
I
Go
don't know
ahead.
what that's all about, but what's all about you hating Home Alone?
What? Don't get me trying to take.
I'm sorry, but I had to talk. I need to know. Why do you hate Home Alone?
It's that's not the right way to say it. Why would you try to make me defend something that I didn't say?
Because it sounds
Because I
better.
don't hate Home Alone. Why do you think I hate Home Alone?
Because you don't want the Home Alone Leggo.
Because I have to put the line somewhere. I would rather have the Concorde than the Home Alone Lego.
Really? And you don't even want the Concorde?
Because it doesn't fit into my overall scheme of random things I like.
Okay,
There's not enough
that's
cartoon
fair.
characters in it.
That's fair. That's fair.
The Home Alone house probably suits me more than the Concorde because
Yeah.
I've seen it more than I have the Concorde.
Yeah.
The Concorde is a myth.
How many times do you think you've seen Home Alone, the original?
Probably not that many. Probably like 4, maybe 5.
What?
Yeah,
That's
like
low.
why-
I thought you were going to say 20, and I was going to say that's low.
So I'm not that big of a repeat movie watcher.
Yeah.
I don't really go do that. Like I said, Christmas time maybe it comes in. So I don't mind when it's on at I don't mind at all. But I guess
Yeah.
it comes around Christmas. It's not must see watching TV for me.
Not anymore.
It's overplayed.
Oh, yeah.
Like I probably watched it again for the first I remember seeing it maybe 5-10 years. I don't know what timeline it was, but at a certain point within the last 10 years, I saw it for the first time in a long time and really, really liked it.
Yeah.
Really loved, I realized that John Candy was in it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
In the polka band. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I forgot about that. It was just around and I never paid attention to it. Way more than Jingle All the Way. When you told me that was
I
your
love
favorite movie.
Jingle All the
No.
Way.
And I was like, oh, I slept on that. Of course, I seen it, and now that's in our Christmas. For the last 2 years, that's been in our Christmas rotation.
Yeah.
Because of you, and I slept on. I go, oh, and so that's kind of got that '90s vibe or whatever. That's why I'm equating the two in a rewatchable way. But so when I really sat down and watched the whole Home Alone movie instead of catching it here and there, I was just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is good.
And you still don't want the house.
Well, how much is the house?
I think it's like 300.
Probably a little bit more. So if you want the house, you have to get it
something.
now.
That's the thing. And I was envisioning having that and the Simpsons house together.
So
It's
that's
opposites,
ridiculous. They don't
but they're
fit at
both
all.
houses.
They're both houses. So unfortunately, fortunately for me, I haven't got into loving the buildings yet.
Yeah.
You remember the
modular
show?
buildings?
The modular buildings.
Oh my God.
I was talking to our buddy Jacob about
I'm
it
the
too.
same. Me too. I'm the same way. I haven't got into it, but I think they're cool. But I'm just like, what would I do with it?
Well, it's you and I can see it. I think in the same. It's admitting the next step is coming.
Yeah.
Right. It's fine having a shelf of pianos or Disney stuff.
How about a table?
A thing of that, yeah. But then all of a sudden, you have you buy the police building or the fucking the bakery shop.
Well, if you get the police building, you have to get the bakery shop. And if you get the bakery shop, you have to get this one.
And the
then,
theater.
Wait a minute. Then I need a road because now this just looks stupid. And next thing you know,
You need so the second you buy one modular building, you are admitting you are having a room.
a problem.
Yeah, well, no, we already have a problem.
Oh, yeah, that's
We've
true.
started the last fucking 8 shows, I think, with Leggo.
Leggo,
Wasn't
yeah.
even on the board, and
Yeah.
it's right out in the last thing we just talked about. So when I look at the Home Alone house, I'm forcing myself to like it.
Yeah.
I like the roller coaster better than the Home Alone house.
The roller coaster's cool.
But I'm where do I fit that fucking thing?
Exactly.
Right? I don't even know.
Beside your freaking Disney castle, that's where you fit
Well,
it.
we already have trouble with that. I get it. So I can see myself. You know what I mean? I don't know. I still don't see myself. I'm still buzzing out on these YouTube videos with their imagination.
Yeah.
I'm in this realm now. It's where I've told you before. It's I'm going to use these other people's imagination to build the little mock-ups that they have. I'm getting into this whole bricklinks part of it.
Yeah.
Right. And we've talked about it a little bit, but just this aftermarket, it's this self-perpetuating thing. Lego just sits back and watches it.
Yeah.
And we all do all the work for them and make Lego bigger and make it Yeah, like build it up. Like it's the natural. Like I don't know, there is no hidden agenda by the big Lego, right? Like to do this.
It's just
like how it is. Like you can say marketing, you could say whatever. Like you were mentioning before.
And FOMO. That's a big. Them retiring sets is a genius move.
So they've been doing this for however many years.
Yep.
And this is one of those things. Like I just found out about it yesterday or whatever like a year ago or something like that. Whenever you first told me about them, and so now I see that. So I'm like, but. Just because I'm aware of it now, like I realize like people have kind of been aware of it before, but I also think my own recency bias is that, is it just oversaturated now? Like the idea of Lego investing is in the air where it wasn't 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Like, and so that means that they're over hoarded. Like I don't know if they make so. This is weird. When something's a commodity, when they retire it, that's why. Okay, there is no more Home Alone houses. But right now, it's in this little zone is like hard to find, maybe, or it's been out for a couple years. Yeah. I don't know if it has a strict end date. Like I've been watching other videos where there's like December 2023, these certain sets are 100% retiring.
Yeah, and then it gets extended.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they can do that.
Yeah,
they're not the stock market. They can do whatever they want.
They can do what they want. Like I was reading that the typical lifespan for a Lego set's 2 years, but the typewriter has been out for 4. You know what I mean? So it's kind of all bullshit, but it's working because their goal is to make you buy more Lego, and I can't say it doesn't work because you know how many times I've wanted to buy something or bought something because I think it's gonna retire.
Yeah, well, so that's informed your decisions before.
Oh man, I'm freaking like a.
How long has the piano been out for?
That's going on 4 years. That's supposed to retire this year.
So there is no rhyme or reason to me to how long they keep something going.
Yeah.
When you go on some of these videos and see like some of the most expensive ones ever, or certain sets, like you said, some of them have been out for 3 years, some of them out for a certain amount of months. Like there's some that are like. So it's weird. Some are certain exclusives that are like only at Comic-Cons or whatever. Yeah. Like there's a minifigure Spider-Man that came out with the last Spider-Man video game, and there's only like 1,600 or something of these things, and they're worth like $2.5 grand.
What the hell?
A Miles Morales fucking Spider-Man.
That's pretty cool.
It's amazing, but like it's not that amazing. I'm not spending that kind of money on that. No. You don't even need a set for that. So that's kind of different. Those are super exclusive.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are in like Star Wars set, like the certain stormtrooper that, you know what I mean, like has a gold staff or whatever the fuck it is. Like that's so nerded out. Yeah. I'm never going to care.
Yeah.
Like my FOMO is the Simpsons house is the perfect example of something that like I'm in that right now with the Seinfeld. Like I'm like, it's been recently retired. So it's like doubled in value. Am I a fool to like buy it now for 200 in an investing type of way? Yes. Right, but not in
a collection type of
not
way.
Not if I see it for 5 years and just like. But that's like the retarded human in me saying like, oh, I have to have that. I don't. Like I can buy a whole other kit and still get as much fun building it.
That's true.
I just think I need to have it. Right, like I filled up a Lego cart last night when I was high. Like I saw the Concorde, I didn't put it in there, but I saw these things that I kind of want, and then I looked at my cart. It's like $200. It's like. Damn it, I can't spend that. I just spent fucking, I don't even know if I talked about it after, we did this after last week's show. I went and bought a Sesame Street set for $200.
Yeah.
And so I had huge FOMO on that. That's one of the sets Tammy talked about from way back.
And now you have it.
And I saw it on sets. Yeah, and I got it. And I felt a certain way when I got it, but I haven't felt more excited ever since. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I see the box and I feel good about it. But that's just a fleeting feeling,
right?
Like I get high, I get better, I get more feelings off of like watching a show or doing something else.
So do you feel like you don't feel like Lego's a waste of money, right?
No, I think FOMO is a waste of time.
Yeah,
right. But that happens not just Lego.
Yeah,
but it's a perfect chance to like integrate FOMO into whatever. Like that's what I think everything at FOMO is a waste of time, and I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like no, Lego isn't, but the Home Alone kind of is for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not going to look at it and go, oh, there it is. Like that I do other things.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like this is like the Up House or the Winnie the Pooh. Every now and then I just look by and I see it. Oh yeah, that's cool. And I don't know how much of it is the exclusivity, like because like the mini Disney castle we just got because it was cool, mini Disney, way before I ever consciously thought of investing, just knowing like in scarcity.
Yep.
That's why I kind of thought of it, and scarcity came with the money cost. But now I realize that castle has almost doubled its price since we got it.
Yeah.
Like I got it out and I got it in the box. I said, you know what? One day I can put it back in the box, saying it's used, and still get something for it. It's not like I'm going to donate this to the library like a book
Send it to Salvation Army.
or whatever. But then they're going to sell it, and somebody's going to go into Salvation Army and get a good find and like find all those things. So like that's all over the place. Like that's how you'll see. Like that's where people. That's the garage sales.
I would love to go to like a Salvation Army or a garage sale and find a Simpsons house for like $50.
That
That would never happen though.
Okay.
Not here. I think in the States more so.
No, I bet it'd happen here more because there's less Lego collectors here.
True.
Like it's bigger
True.
market in the States. Like so, like the
great.
States have more of these individual toy stores, right? Like that bricks and minifigs. Like let's say American. Like I think there might be one here. I don't know, but everything is different here.
We're very monopolized.
There's probably certain things here that are way easier to get than there.
Yeah.
Right. And this is like, and that we've talked about before, like the European market, like that we don't even consider that, but that informs what's valuable here. And we don't know about it, and the Salvation Army people don't know about it. They're just like, oh, here's a kid's Lego set.
Yeah, true.
Right? And they go. It's just the same. You don't hear it all the time, but the legends of like, oh, you found a fucking Rembrandt or a Monet in a fucking garage sale.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? They didn't know. And that's what people who like to wake up early and go to garage sales justify it for.
Storage wars.
You know what I mean? And that's the only way that's exciting is if they fucking doctor up the production of that show.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no way that's exactly how they show it. And I think
For
they
sure.
actually got charged or something.
Yeah.
Like I think they're behind the scenes exposed out. So it never really happens. So your dream is a dream. Like that's
Never
it
gonna
is a dream. It could happen.
Lego
But
dreams.
what you do is just like, you know what? That's the only way I'm ever going to get one of those. Right. And that's my way of doing that is like, just assume everybody knows that they're valuable like that and just buy a used one. Don't care that their box is bashed or even in a box.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I'm at with like the Seinfeld thing now is like Tammy told me like, oh, I think I can get one for 80, but it's just with the numbered bags in the for some reason there's no box. My mind goes that if I'm all about the Chinese counterfeit market, this is what I do.
Yeah.
I sell them as, oh, I don't have the box. I got my own instructions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is how you fucking somehow get your hand on a book, right? Because you can buy everything individually.
Yeah.
So you can buy the Home Alone book right now and then take your fucking 3D printer and
Print
make
a
all the
bunch of
pieces, right? Like, and so that's a paranoid thought, right? But that's how like, I mean, that's how I think these things can work.
Yeah.
And so, but like, I don't really care if it fits together. I don't know. I don't want to do that, not knowing if it would work. Like come back together.
That's fair.
Like I don't want to do. I remember when I first did when I bought the foosball table on Kijiji, and I get there, and it's the first adult case thing I bought, like everything, and I see it, and when I heard sealed in box, I expected it to be plastic wrapped.
Oh.
Right? Like, cause I never paid attention to the boxes before and sealed in box for Lego is just a little bit of tape.
Tape, yep.
And obviously when you got a cardboard box, you can tell if that tape has been fucked with.
For sure.
So I saw the box, everything looked good. And I'm looking at this dude and I just see it's just like, hey, I thought this was sealed. He's like, it is. And I saw the tape and I'm just like, he goes, you can open it if you want. And I'm like, at that time I just realized, no, I think he's telling the, like, the human, because eye contact, everything.
Yep.
Not on eBay, not on the fucking computer where you can get fucked over.
Yeah.
And I've been fucked over, all the like fucking whatever. And so I just took a chance, gave him the money and did it. And so after that was when I realized, oh, these all look like that.
Yeah.
But I felt like such a noob questioning him, right? Because it was sealed in box. But even then, you could fucking figure out a way to make a box.
Oh, for sure.
Like if
You
you're
can figure
determined
it
to fuck
out.
somebody over with this, you can.
Yeah.
So I like Home Alone. But I can't justify spending $400. The FOMO is the only way that makes it a must buy
It's
now.
definitely part of it. Most of it.
So what?
Home Alone's iconic for me. Like I've seen it more than 4 times.
How many times have you seen it?
Probably, I don't know, countless.
You watch it every year, at least
I
once?
don't watch it. I don't like go out my way to watch. If I'm in the mood, I'll be like, let's watch Home Alone, whatever, right? But anytime if I see it like passing, or I like go to somebody's house and they're playing it, I'm watching it, right? You know what I mean?
Are you counting like it's on, or you're watching it from beginning to end?
Well, if it's too far, I'm only counting it from beginning to end. I probably watched it. I don't know. I don't want to put a number on it, but it probably would be a lot. Like
That's
a
fine.
lot.
That's fine.
Jingle All the Way is a movie I specifically put on and say, I'm watching this. Home Alone, we're past that. We've seen it so many times. It's like society. But Sire and Kai saw it for the first time, I think, last year.
So that's interesting.
Right?
That's definitely interesting.
So they saw it and they were like, I don't know if it was last Christmas or the year before. I think it was last Christmas. And they were like doing all the things like that. He's
that's
like,
hilarious.
I'm not afraid anymore. Like Sire was always saying that.
So interesting.
And they've seen it twice or three times since they saw it. So they've already seen it like almost as much as you. Right? But the thing is, like, could you imagine? I didn't think about this till now, but if we got the Home Alone thing, they would instantly recognize it. That's the Home Alone house. And they're like way past that movie outdates them by decades. And they would instantly know that's the Home Alone house because it has the tree house in the back and the thing and everything. They would know.
That makes it so that's you. That wasn't part of your appeal.
No,
but that makes it instantly more appealing.
Yeah, right now. Now I think I'm actually gonna buy it. now
you just figured out the 100% reason why you have to.
I'm selling this to Selena so hard. I'm like, the kids love Home Alone. Damn it!
They'll be like, what?
They're gonna remember this their whole life.
They'll be like, what? I don't remember. Yeah, well, that'd be. I would believe you more if you were gonna let them help you build it.
Fuck no.
See, that has nothing to do with that.
Fuck
You're not even
no.
gonna let them look at it. It's gonna be in their fucking glass case.
No. Wait.
Let me tell you, this was really fun to play with, kids. Now go to your room.
Yeah. Can I touch what's his name? The kid?
See, you can't.
Can't even remember the kid's name.
I'm not supposed to know his name. You're supposed to know his name.
Can I touch him? I say no. You can look at him.
You can't even bring up his fucking name. I know his real name.
Man. Yeah, his real name. But what is his show name?
I don't know. I've barely seen the movie. So
Kevin.
There you
yes,
go.
yes.
Okay, how could you forget?
Oh, yeah.
That is very interesting. So, because I think it's very unsatisfying to like show somebody a movie that you like and expecting them to like it as much as you.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know how many times. That's why you brought up Star Trek last week, and like Tammy heard the pod. She's like, I didn't know you like Star Trek because I never really hammered it home that I want to watch that with her.
Yeah,
because I don't like want to force that. I get surprised when she sometimes says, "Oh, that was a good show. I like that," or this invasion show I try to talk about. She really likes it, and I'm like kind of like not on the fence. I kind of like it too, but I never would have expected her to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, so it's if you want to get that reaction from somebody when you show them something, I find it rare to happen. You're underwhelmed by their reaction to what you think is amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to double check yourself. Say, well, is it really amazing? Yeah. Like somebody watching something just go like, so yeah, I can't even think of an example. What I can think of a different example for Leggo though, is like that Concorde. Yeah. Right. Like it was very. I understand it now, and at first I didn't. But I get when you said Selena didn't know what the Concorde was. Yeah. Like why should she?
That's true.
Why should she? Was long retired. Yeah. Like before, she's not into airplanes. Nope. She just wants to get into an airplane to take her to somewhere nice.
To go to Vegas.
Yeah, if she would love to be on it to get her there in a couple of hours instead of 5. Yeah. And even you, like you were at the airport. You have a different. You seek out that kind of thing. Like you wouldn't ever go without not knowing the Concorde. Yeah. Or other things, but because you sought it out. I remember the Concorde because it was a real thing in my time. Yep. This is, and my dad took me to the airport when there was an air show to see it land and shit. And it was just there. At the time, I was like kicking and screaming, dragging. I could care less. Yeah. The Concorde. I still have a vision of it now. And I can say that it's not as exciting as you think it is because you said, oh my God, you've seen it. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like it wasn't a life-changing event.
No, the event itself wasn't life-changing. But I think now you understand that you saw the Concorde. There's only like 10 of them. I think
there's less.
Yeah, there's like none of them. Yeah. It's like it's no plane has been able to do the things it's been able to do even till now.
So unfortunately, I think of the Concorde in a different light now.
That it crashes?
No, not that at all. Like this is Brenton will like this part. It's a perfect example of the airline conspiracy, like of stagnation on purpose. Like if they made the Concorde in 1980 or whenever it was, they felt it was unnecessary. It didn't serve the profit line.
Oh yeah,
for them to change all their planes.
Too expensive.
No, I know, but if they went down that route, we would all be in faster planes right now.
We would, yep.
We would all be, but that's not the bottom line.
No, the bottom line is efficiency
and squeezing as many asses into the plane.
Yep,
cutting out like no frills. Yep, you know what I mean? Like Southwest Airlines, like
for sure,
all
absolutely.
And then charging other people luxuries to go on Emirates or like the booths. You know what I mean? Like there is a huge class system when it comes to air travel. And so it's not like the rich and powerful wouldn't love to be in a Concorde, but the people that make the decisions on what kind of airplanes we have would rather us just keep fucking going in Airbuses or like they purposely stagnate that.
Well, I think it's more so that efficiency is more, the Concorde was not efficient. It was freaking jet engines, not turbines like we have now, and turbines are way more efficient, right? Like I don't know if you know this, but they only fill planes with the amount of fuel that's necessary to get to where they're going. They don't fill the tank all the way, right? So everything's about like the minute efficiencies. And so they have the Airbus 737, and they have the new generation. It's called like Airbus 737 NG. Right? And they're like 30%. It's the same damn plane, Jay, but they're 30% more efficient. So like you can fly from here to Vancouver in the same amount of time, but with 30% less fuel. They don't care about how long it takes. Well, they should care because that's more money in the air and whatnot. But I guess it costs more on the bottom line to save the fuel than it does to.
But this is where it comes in. Like a guy like Tesla, like X, whatever you want to call it, he disrupts the system. Like and I'm just talking out of my ass here. He forces the idea of an electric vehicle to happen like on a mass production scale because they become more competitive with with the rest of the automakers.
Yep.
Right. The rest of the automakers at first go ahead, make your stupid battery car. Like, we're fine with everything else we have, even though it's wrecking the environment. Like you know what I mean? Like we'll put that on the people to fucking, recycle and all that, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden Teslas for however many years, like just keep rising and rising and rising. And they say, okay, we need to get a piece of it. It keeps stealing their market.
Yep.
So they look at, we got to steal that market back.
Yep.
And so he forces them to have more electric vehicles. Like in my mind, like there wouldn't be no Nissan Leaf if the Tesla never proved the market to want it.
I think the Leaf was first.
The Leaf was before Tesla?
Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe he looks at them doing it. I don't, like I told you, I'm talking in my ass.
You're right. He was the first person to do it like on a mass scale. But I think what's even more relevant was what he did with SpaceX, where there was never a thought of having a reusable rocket, right? Everybody was like, okay, the rockets go up and all of it's disposable in space. That's traditionally how it was. He was like, okay, well, the rocket can go up and it can come back down and we can refuel it and then it can go up again. That would save so much money, which is why people buy stuff they sell space on the SpaceX ships to put satellites up and stuff. He's saving so much money by having a reusable booster than NASA was throwing them away in space.
So that's a great example. What I find is that's also building off of the space shuttle.
It is,
right? Like the space shuttle was like revolutionary, right? Like to have something actually come back and even though they might have their boosters get disposed of, and you're right, it's super innovative. Without the space shuttle, it might not have even come to that, right? Like NASA had a certain thing, but then NASA's always under, like I watched that James Webb telescope. NASA needed to get private funding, or space exploration would have died without private funding.
Yep.
And it's because taxpayers didn't want their money to go to it.
They don't understand it.
It's in a way it's opposite of the air travel, because like we need to go as fast and further as we can. We need to explore as much as we can. We don't care about the money. Well, where the money was coming from, the tax, you know what I mean? Like people didn't want their taxes going to it, or it was manipulated in the political system. You know what I mean? Like, no, we need fucking whatever, fucking more racial fucking biased school fucking policies.
School policies.
No, we can't go to the moon. Fuck the moon. Let's worry about indoctrinating people into things here. So when it's a government thing, there's a finite amount of money to it. And so, yeah, the government comes up with a space shuttle, does all this. Like, I don't even know if you remember this. Do you remember when the space shuttle went up in a plane? Like, it was on the top of a plane, and then it shot up after that. Yep. And I don't know where they went from boosters instead of the plane, but I have like this prototypical, that's a prototype. And so I see it. So space becomes the space exploration is like, it took a innovator like him or some other companies that did it privately. Like took it upon themselves.
That was the best way to do
take it. But now they work in the same kind of vein, or they work with each other.
They do. I think SpaceX is, mark my words, somewhere down the line, they're going to turn into an alternate for airline travel. You would be able to get anywhere in the world in like an hour.
So
2
Virgin
hours.
Galactic was before fucking SpaceX.
Virgin Galactic was, but they don't have they still had disposable boosters. And it makes it too expensive because you're disposing of a booster and then you have to rebuild it every single time you want to go somewhere. Having a booster send you up into space and then say have a plane come off, you go like just outside of orbit and you come back down, you have your booster, you can put another plane on that. And that's why it's going to be more viable for consumer travel rather than just Virgin Galactic. Now they do just like what's that called, touristy things now, because they wouldn't be able to do it. It wouldn't be viable financially.
I don't think any of it's viable.
Oh yeah, that's true. We're talking.
These are the same people that
hundreds of thousands.
We're the same people that dissed the fucking dying at the bottom of the ocean going to the Titanic.
Yeah, we're like,
right? We're like, no, we love space more than the fucking whales.
Yeah,
but that serves nothing. You know what I mean? We're doing that so selfishly. These other people in the water, you know what I mean? They're trying to save the planet in a way. Not the people paying their money to go look at the Titanic, but if you're aware of that ecosystem, you know what I mean? Like you're on the cutting edge of exploring or whatever. You're catering to a very finite thing.
It was like airline in the beginning, right?
And so, but your idea of this, the reusable booster, is probably his best gift to that area. Like you're right, it's probably better than the Tesla car because Nissan Leaf was already doing it.
Yep, and there's like Fisker Auto.
There's
a couple companies.
Even that Polestar car looks pretty nice.
I love those.
Yeah, me too.
That's a Volvo company.
Is that what that is? Because I was curious because I saw that it was just like seemed like an independent on its own.
Yeah,
but you don't really hear much about that. There's not much marketing for Polestar.
A little randomness of Volvo. So you know how BMW has like their M series and like they have it. So Polestar is Volvo's version of that.
Oh.
So they used to be their gasoline cars. You had a Polestar, and I think it has a yellow seatbelt. That's like their iconic thing. So if you had a Polestar, you know you have like one of the fastest Volvo Polestar cars ever. They split that and they made it just an all electric company. They don't even associate it at all.
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about that. But so I'm maybe giving Tesla too much credit for pushing that agenda faster than it might have happened naturally.
They did it like they took the iPhone model. Their phones already existed, and they did it in a intuitive way and a unique way for the times.
It's always better. Like it's always everything is built off the giants of everything.
Yeah, but it just takes that one company to do it in a certain way to change everything.
And the scared thought or whatever, like the conspiracy thought is like there is something holding that kind of innovation down in other industries.
It probably is, yeah.
But when this is where I get back to the Concorde, is that air travel is so hard for a private person to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like you even talk about Virgin Airlines and all that stuff. Like that becomes I look at that as a first class kind of airline. Like I've never looked for a Virgin Airline ticket whenever I've gone anywhere. I know who Richard Branson is, and like he's a Elon Musk before he was type of deal. But like in the lower tech, nothing to do with .coms or anything else. But he had he's tried to do the telecoms or whatever. Like Virgin is everywhere.
Virgin's
right.
everywhere.
Like it is everywhere, and it's like, but it's like kind of laying low. Right. Like it's probably just making billions every second of the day, but he's not out there like trying to cause fights, or he's not going to go to the MMA ring to fight one of or maybe he's got the winner. I don't know. So, but like I said, but the Concorde, if there was no Elon Musk to say, no, how can I make this better? How can I take maybe like turbines right away isn't the way to go. You know what I mean? Or something. But there was no desire to get us to fucking Vegas in 2 hours.
Yep.
The CEO was just like, how can I make more money off? They're going to Vegas anyway. There's nobody that's going to have a sit-in till we get ourselves a faster jet. Yeah. Like they don't need to get a faster jet.
They drive or fly. That's your options.
That's what I mean. So their innovation comes on how much more money can we squeeze out of them.
Yep.
How much we charge them for bags.
Yep.
We charge them for it's never comes down to the technology of the plane or the benefit of the customer.
Yep.
And that's where I find that there was a collusion to never have a Concorde type of plane.
Probably. They were not putting money towards that again ever.
So I look at it as a failed humanity, like that's failed humanity.
Yeah, you can look at it as a failed humanity failed
itself
it failed itself on that innovation, because you're right. If they would have put the innovation, we would have been in a completely different world
Who knows?
today.
It's so long
It would have
ago.
been a completely different world. Exactly. That's what they were doing that many years ago. Now we have, like we said, reusable rockets, electric cars, freaking touchscreen phones. That was before touchscreen phones, right?
Of course it was.
Touchscreen phones.
Before cordless phones.
We've like, yeah, exactly. Like they failed to capitalize on us. That I would go to Vancouver right now on 5 hours. You know how much time more I would go if it was 2?
Exactly. Well, but what if that was the standard?
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm
it doesn't
saying.
have
Like,
to be. Like, I get it,
but that's what it should be.
But yes, then that's where it becomes a collusion of the failing humanity in a way. It's like, yeah, it's not about bigger, better, and making us like more quality of our life.
Jay?
It's squeezing the fucking life out of us.
Jay, you've 100% convinced me to buy the Concorde because now
You can
I
tell
have
this
a
story?
whole story of why do you have the Concorde? Well, that's because humanity's stupid. They failed and blah, blah, blah. And then when everybody falls asleep because I'm so into this and I'm listening.
Okay, I'll show you the Home Alone now. Let me show you the Home Alone. There's nothing wrong with
and
it.
we got Home Alone.
Okay, now watch the plane
Well, that's
crash into
great.
Home Alone.
Right? But no, actually, I'm actually probably 100%. I was iffy. I'm
Until I talked to you.
100. Now there's like a whole story
Sorry,
because
Selena.
it is true. It is true. Humanity failed. That's one of the things, one of the many things, but that's something that we can point to that could have made life better for millions of people.
So-
and money fucked it all up.
Like I look at it, well, I should
Thanks,
just,
Jay.
I should just shut up now because I finally want a point. Like just imagine. So like we just said, like there was no cordless phone at that time.
Yeah.
So imagine if somebody with like just jumps the line and had a touch screen back in 1984,
Right.
whenever they had this. But the telecoms people go, you know what? Like I don't see anything benefit of that. Oh no, but look at like the world's going to come together. All this stuff is like, yeah, but how much money am I going to make?
Yeah, exactly.
Throw that thing in the bin. Don't let anybody ever see that. And so this is why that's the word disruptor is a great term for that.
Yep.
And when it comes into these little innovative areas, like even like Leggo, like to get back to this, it's like the Lego community is what it is, but like the aftermarket Lego community, like I've already like gone back on my words. We said it even last week, like, oh, imagine like what it's like to work at Lego. But like there's thousands of people that are qualified to work at
there.
Lego all on their own.
Yep.
They build better things than the people at Lego seem to do.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the opposite of the Concorde because Lego embraces that community. Like they have the icons community where it's literally from the community they get their ideas and they do it. They're embracing that because there's so many things that probably would never come out if they didn't embrace it.
I fully agree, and it's even sparked like the aftermarket, like the fake Legos.
Yep, the fake
like
Legos.
not even like and all that. Like it's just like a buildable thing, but it's also building on the back of kids love to build models.
Yeah,
like it's fun to do. You know what I mean? Like, and now there's this nostalgic part. There's this whole other collecting. Like they are expanding on that. Like they're embracing that kind of aspect, and it's all user based. But like it doesn't work with cars or airplanes.
No.
Right? Like those are so much government controlled.
Yeah.
And that's even why, like there's a documentary, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's an activist type person. Like it's certain years old. It's like who killed the electric car? Like the idea of an electric car could have happened decades ago.
Yep.
Right? Like even but the industry stifled it because it would cost them too much money to change over. That's why it's a joke. And I believe this when you hear people like thought, oh, this is like a corporation that cares about like civil rights or the environment or all that. Like, no, they never have.
No, they don't give
It's
a
just
fuck.
profitable to do it now.
Yeah.
And you can see it. But then if you stay in that lane too much, then you just become so jaded. Like I stick to my jadedness.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't. Already now, I've convinced myself not to get the Concorde because it gives me a negative thought, right? But now I'm just justifying. Well, but like I still want to spend the $300 on something, but it just might not be the Concorde.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like, and so that's where Lego comes genius because it's innocent enough. It's not world changing like that. But this is what can happen when the world like focuses on something,
Mm-hmm.
and that becomes the tragedy of a lot of things, right? Like the Concorde, you overextend the thought. Oh, it's a tragedy of humanity. But is it like how much worse off are we because you can't get to Vancouver in 2 hours?
I mean, if you sit on Swoop or what's that other airline?
Flair
Air, you'll know how much of a tragedy it is, Jay. You'll know.
So I don't know. I see that. So that's why I won't be getting the Concorde. But the fucking the haunted house, So I can't get the Home Alone house because it's the beginning of a city thing.
Yeah.
Like I already just found it. Like Tammy's kind of into it, and there's time enough for that. Other than the FOMO of if I don't buy the police station now, it's going to be something in the future, but I don't care. I don't want to miss out on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out on The Office or Seinfeld. Like those are my versions of that. Like I already don't care. The Concorde. I like it for all the positive reasons. I just was looking for some negative things to talk about.
Well, that convinced me to get it. So
I know,
thank you.
you're just an opposite kind of guy. You're on brand. And but like I've told you before, I would rather build the fucking Harry Potter train.
Yep.
Because it's more substantial, right? Like it might be more. I don't know how much more money it is or whatever, but
it's like double.
Yeah. See, so that would probably not get it. I don't care that much about that, but it's just like something like, yeah. See, that thought should just come and go out of my head. Because I like it, but that's too much money for me. I have to draw that line.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to fit in any kind of random, like, even though like my collection is more random than yours, it's not going to fit in that. It's going to be something nice to look at, but I don't care that much.
Yeah. You're going to have to, well, you could just start a Harry Potter collection, then it'll fit in.
But I won't. But I won't. Like I already I talked about it, like I'm on the fence of like the Daily Bugle. Because I've always liked the Spider-Man. I do it. And I look at it. It looks too childish to me.
I agree. When I saw the title the first time, I was like, that's actually a good idea. But then when I look at it, I'm like, but it has all the minifigures, right? That's important to some people's collections, right? That's probably one of the biggest selling points, like we talked about last week. Like the minifigures are big selling points of these collections. But where would I display that? How would I display that? You know what I mean?
So when it comes to like, they're only, like you said, they're only valuable to you.
Yeah.
Like you might know that Spider-Man in that in the Daily Bugle set is like that variant because it came with that. But there's like 20 different Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
And like so certain ones are worth more because of others. I don't have as much respect as maybe I should have for the person that can identify that right away.
I was gonna say, what are the odds somebody's gonna come to your house and be like, "You got the Daily Bugle Spider-Man?"
The people are that.
There are
these
people
nerds
like
that go to these conventions that all know each other,
but they ain't coming to your house.
And that's why I'm not going to do it. Like that's why I need to do it like myself.
Yeah, for yourself.
Like when we built the up house, they got the Cub Scout. And I didn't think of it this time. It was only fucking like a month ago or whatever we built it. But it's a wicked little minifigure. He's got a backpack. He's got like a fork and a fucking frying pan. Like it's got so much to it, but it's just Russell from up. And so it doesn't have that same kind of Boba Fett fan base, you know. But it's never not going to go. In my mind, sooner or later, somebody's going to look in all the details on this stupid little minifigure and go,
like, that's
one of the better ones.
That's good.
And so, but it does for me now. It does help why I want to buy the sets, no doubt, and not in a resellable type of way, but just knowing it's never going to go down.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like the Seinfeld. More people that are listening to this or whatever don't care about Seinfeld like I did.
Yeah.
Like it's not a show you ever cared about, but it's in the zeitgeist. And see, but my idea of having like a little George Costanza fucking figure or a little Kramer figure or whatever, like actually the Kramer one's probably famous for all the wrong reasons now.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, but like, but it's just like, oh, those figures are only going to go up in price. Like even if I like sell the whole set, like somebody might just buy it for that figure and I don't care.
And that's one of those sets that you can't remake. Like you can do updated version, but you're not going to have a Seinfeld, what is it, his house, right?
Yeah, it's like his apartment.
They're not going to have that part two. They're just going to have that. What other Seinfeld would you do? The
No, you
diner?
wouldn't. No, I hear you. I agree.
Yeah.
But then who would have thought they would make a new Disney castle?
Well, I mean...
Who would have thought they'd make a new Millennium Falcon?
Well, I mean, the new one's way better.
That's their justification. And that's why you don't invest.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting on a gold mine with your like 1985 Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just doesn't go. But then you all realize, like it was like,
Comes
that
back
one
around.
will come back into value.
Yeah, it will.
That like the original one will
Like
be
old
there.
baseball cards.
Exactly. But so that's the thing. If you make a reprint of a fucking Babe Ruth rookie card, the card community knows it's a reprint.
Exactly.
They don't care. They don't put any stock in
Like,
that.
Yeah. That's
But
nice and all, but...
the second a new castle came out this year for $550, the aftermarket went from $650 to $400 on the old castle.
Yeah.
That's a fucking huge depreciation.
I guarantee that's coming back up a lot. I think the old castle is going to be worth more than the new castle at the end of the day.
How many years do you think that'll take?
10.
Well, we'll revisit it.
Yeah,
I don't want to disagree. I want to disagree with you because it's fun, but I can't. I agree with you. This is why I think if I ever see it for under $3,
oh man,
I have to buy it.
Yeah.
And I would. So there we go. That is my Home Alone house.
Yep.
That is my Concord.
Yeah.
Like that is. There's 100 reasons why I would buy that, and like and also for that appreciation. So this is where I'm at now. Is just like, I should buy The Office now because I've looked at it so many times. I kind of like the show, but I don't like the set. But it's got all these minifigures. It's personal to me, not because you like The Office.
Yeah.
But actually, there's probably more people out here that like The Office better than Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Only because it was on 10 years after Seinfeld like was off the air or whatever, and it's more current and. Like, and this is what I got to back Home Alone. Your kids are too young to care about. I think about the difference in society in Home Alone to now.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like when Esmera watches it, she'll be just like, well, why didn't they give Kevin where's Kevin's cell phone?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then the whole movie's over.
Exactly.
Right? Like and they would have to physically go back, oh, this was at a time when there was no such as a cell phone. Sire would be like, what do you mean? There was no time that there was no cell phone.
Should have just FaceTime on his iPad.
Why couldn't they just like tweet or X or you know what I mean? Like there's all these different. Why can't he go to his neighbor's house and do all that? Like they're going to look for all the holes to poke in it, and I hate watching something like that.
Which is why it's good to get kids, for example, to do this in a young age where they're so naive.
Yeah,
and then. Later on down the line, they'll put it together. I think. They'll put it together.
It's like I guess like the opposite of spoilers. Like you know what I mean? Like you're behind me on Big Brother, and I hate that you're behind me because I want to spoil something for you.
Spoil it,
and it's like don't change the subject.
Just spoil it.
But when you're talking about with the kids and movies, it's an opposite of a spoiler. Like you can't spoil it for them. No. They're naive. You can say it's naive, but that's in it. That's pure joy and innocence.
Yep.
They don't realize how joyful that is.
Yeah.
To just watch something without the like cynicism, and that's why I fucking fight against that. And when I see it in other people, I rail against it. Just like, even like Jacob or even Brenton, you know, be like always find like what's the underlying reason for this, and all that. And that's why I like bringing up the Concord because that becomes an apparent. I want to talk about that one all the time. Like, how do you explain to me I'm wrong? You know what I mean? Like, and because I've already watched that movie play out. It's not like I'm not in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not in the middle of this. I'm not trying to like in the middle of this COVID pandemic and just go questioning why they're doing things for what they think is long term. Mm-hmm. Just like I'm living in it. I don't know. I'm not gonna like. I kind of agree with this. Kind of agree with that. I can't go all in on any side.
Yeah.
I need to see it play out.
True.
And I don't know. Is that too wishy washy? Is that too?
No. I think that's even keelish.
It's a bit of FOMO. I'm not saying the same way. Like people who didn't want the shot, like they could point to tons of evidence and say like this is why I didn't get it. You know what I mean? And like look at us now and they're retracking all these things.
Yeah, this is why I didn't get it because all these people are dying. Oh, but you're still alive. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the potential for me not to be there.
I'm still alive. Oh yeah. There's a lot of people who are still alive.
But that's why I assumed that was going to happen, and that's why I took the shot. And so, and I don't want to look at that evidence and go, "Oh yeah," but you're just picking and choosing what you can be. I look at some of that evidence, and go, "Yeah, you know what? You might be right." Like I'm just bringing that as a real time example of something happening where you haven't seen the movie play out. Like we're still seeing that movie play out.
Still,
when I hear about these things happening or whatever, like. Retracking like the lab leak theory or whatever it is, or gain of function fucking research and all that. I just like, okay, something else was going on here. Like this mask mandate and these shots, and it shouldn't. At the time, I didn't think it should happen when it was, but I didn't have the evidence to say why it should happen or not. And my FOMO wanted to be like, no, I wanted to stand up against like these ultimatums or these fucking these things they're making you do, but I'm not going to change my life for it.
Yeah, but I agree. I think something is always going on. I think there's always multiple things going on. I just don't subscribe to the idea that it's always just one thing going on. So when the pandemic was going on, and people were like, "Yes, the government is trying to do this because they want to make money." or they want to control you or whatever. I don't think it's that. I think it's probably a little bit of everything. Yes, Pfizer wants to make money. They're a publicly traded company. Yes, the government wants to try and do what politicians do. It's not new that politicians are doing sneaky shit, right? They're doing more sneaky shit that people don't even realize, and they're falling in line for because they don't even realize that they're doing it, right? I think it's Russia's probably was doing some shit with the pandemic, different from what China was doing with the pandemic. I think it's always a whole bunch of things. I just don't subscribe to the thing that it's just this one thing. And I've said it before. That's why I am against the idea of the Illuminati, because it's never one thing. We humans are way too complicated and too uncooperative to be doing these things on a regular basis. It's why the Concorde failed, because yes, there were good sides to it, but I'm pretty sure there were so many sneaky deals underneath that made. Maybe the guy selling the jet engines or like Hijacked. They were trying to tank the company's stocks. You know what I mean? There could be so many aspects going on. It's never just one.
God, I wish I could just end this now and just get some innocent fucking TV talk right now. But it's I want to believe I've lived my life like I believe that theory as well. Most of it is just not diving into like how far this could go, because it's just leading you down a negative road. It's not going to improve your life. There's the FOMO comes as like, how much do I not know what's going on, or and explore that. The problem comes is like money talks. You're right. Like this, like we can't get organized about anything. But once you start finding out that like war is just a money making racket,
yeah,
right, and then you just realize like we're sold on it being a humanity problem. Like we must save those people, and that's like all that's ever sold.
For sure. But of course, war is a money making racket. Like the companies want to make ammunition, right? The U.S. government wants to take somebody's oil, and then the people in the country are fighting against their regime. It's all these different ladders. It's not just Biden starting war just to make money. It's Biden seeing that opportunity, and then he's starting the war. And then the companies saying, you know what? We could send some guys over there and incite some riots so we can get the contracts. And then it's the people in the country saying like, you know, if we riot, we can go against this government and we can maybe topple them. And then there's the person at the top saying, well, we have to fight against this guys because I want to keep power so I can keep stealing money. I think it's so much more layers than just saying war makes money.
But you're right. It's all these publicly. You said it before with these publicly traded fucking like things, and that's where the excuse is like whatever's good for the stockholders. And then you start to find out. Like I was fucking some podcast I was listening to that. Man, there was like, I'm gonna butcher this, but there's a certain fucking hedge funds that like own like 80% of the Fortune 500 companies. Mm-hmm. Like all of their stock. Like so they have the control of everybody else. Like it's not the government, like Pfizer manipulates the government. Pfizer's so much smarter than the government that the government, is just trying to work with the people. Yep. But then Pfizer gets a government contract for vaccines.
Yep.
How much of that is just to make more stock money than it is to help people?
Sure.
They're like, they're just using the gullible government to fucking sell this, the votes, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And then we are less, we're not better off for it. But I hate the people fighting that are so disorganized. They're never going to beat the Pfizers or the other companies. But that's nefarious. That's when
Same
it becomes
thing with the oil companies and electric cars, like you were saying before. These oil companies do not want electric cars to exist.
And oil companies have so much more influence on a government policy.
Yeah.
Right? But that's where when a real disruptor comes in.
But it didn't stop it. And conspiracy theorists would say, well, these oil companies would just kill people. Well, Elon Musk is not dead, and he doesn't live in a mansion. He lives in a freaking regular old house. Right? So it's yes.
But I think they get to a certain point. My conspiracy mind will tell me a guy like that gets to a certain point, and they can still disappear people like that, but it's
Absolutely.
harder. It's the people that are on the up and coming. It's the people that have come up with these ideas. Again, I'm going to butcher ideas, but like even like shit like television or even Edison, you think of him like you're taught in a way like, oh, he came up with all these inventions. And then you realize a lot of it, he just stole other people's ideas. Like even like the real Tesla and Edison with electricity or whatever. It's like, you can look at, I've seen things that show that they purposely tried to downplay Tesla's ideas because it wasn't good for General Electric. Like
Yep.
General Electric had their stock money into Edison, and if Tesla comes up with an idea that makes electricity free for other people, so they're going to kill that idea. It's just like fucking the Saudis coming in and taking over Gulf. They're just going to fight them in court.
Yeah.
They say, we got a war chest here. Go ahead. We're going to go use your rules to go against you. And then they fucking say, oh shit, we didn't see this coming. And so, but when General Electric sees Tesla coming, they could squash him because he's not Tesla yet. There is nobody in fucking Wyoming knows what guy in Jersey is doing about electricity.
Yeah.
They just go, they get their big fat pat politician go, yeah, we're putting streetlights in and thank General Electric. Woo, General Electric.
Yep.
Meanwhile, General Electric's going down and mowing down whatever. You know what I mean? And so there is a certain aspect to that, but to live in that space, to see that everywhere and to have that inform your decisions is so negative.
I agree.
And this is where I can't stand.
Yep.
This is where I would much rather talk to a guy like Jacob who can express these ideas, who's so young, who doesn't know what he doesn't know, but the things he does know, or some of them are becoming he can't package them in an undeniable way, but individually they sound like, yeah, I can't undeny that. I can't, deny that type of thing. But when he gets to a Lego thing, it's so much more fun to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
He's taken all of his ideas of people hoarding the gold or the oil or the no Concords, and he's like, how can I fight that system?
Yeah.
And so he's found a way in Lego. It's not gonna like take the world, you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna fix anything, but it fixes that idea in him. Like I can get a leg up on some sort of society.
A Lego up?
Oh, look at you! I get the leg. Is that the title? I get a Lego up on 91. So that's where it becomes more fun and innocent. Like I'm not trying to dive into all negativity about that, but that's where I can see that's one of the things I think of when I see the Concorde.
Yeah.
Like, why don't I look at the Hogwarts train and go, how come that's not a bullet train? Right? Like, I don't take trains.
Do you know why?
Because there's no dictator.
Because the Concorde is more substantial. And that's what you said about the Hogwarts train. But look at the conversation that comes out of a Concorde compared to the conversation that would come out of a Hogwarts train.
That just makes me think of nerds and their fucking Harry Potter.
Jay, come on. That train is beautiful, actually. It's really nice.
Yeah, see if I can get a mini version. So that's what I kind of see in that.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to, like I said, like building shit. Like we talked about the fucking the James Bond car. Like I got my McLaren's or my Mercedes. I was like, wow, how come I never noticed the beauty in this before? But it's because I'm into F1 now.
Yeah.
It's because I'm like, you know what I mean? Like whatever, it catches my eye.
This is a depressing time, by the way.
So I see other stupid vacation or whatever.
No. Who needs vacation?
They fucking take, anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
Good for them.
we won't
They
get
better
into
come
it.
back strong. I'll be in Vegas when they're racing next time, so I won't fucking see it. I'll be even 3 hours. It'll be on at like 2 a.m. or something.
Oh, man.
Maybe Tammy will watch it as I'm passed out on the bed.
I was about to say, as you're stumbling home.
I can't be a bad boy this time. I won't be able to come back with as many good stories.
No?
Because I was such an ass last time.
There better be some good stories, Jay.
Well, what do you consider good stories? Of me fucking getting too drunk? That's not a good story.
No, anything funny or anything shocking.
I can't promise anything.
You guys stumbled into a threesome.
What?
Oh my God, Jay, what the fuck?
Stumbled. Yeah, stumbled. Yeah, no, there was no premeditation there whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, with all that Temptation Island talk last week, next thing you know, we're in a threesome.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh, man.
I don't even want to invite any of that kind of fucking shit into my life. Fuck that. Because, well, whatever. That seems to be every person's, like, when they think it's the dude's dream.
I mean,
like, you know what I mean? Like, it's undeniable, like, well, like, to see the beauty in that.
Yes.
Right? See that, but the reality of it is, like, again, I don't know why I would think to that or whatever, but just like, okay, after it's all done, how awkward is this?
So should we, you guys want coffee or?
I'm going to go out for a cigarette. Like, you know, like, what do you, like, I don't know, right? Like, it's just, whatever. Like, I have less FOMO about missing out on that than I maybe most dudes have.
Have you seen the movie The Wrong Missy? I think you have. Did
Wrong
you mention
Missy?
it? It's The Wrong Missy.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's with, what's that guy who was from that Joe Dirt?
Idris Elba. Oh,
No. No. No, is he in Joe Dirt?
Oh,
Fuck.
yeah. The fuck Dana Carvey?
No.
Oh,
Maybe it's not. No, he's not in Joe Dirt. He's this. It's funny because I remembered his name to remember to bring this movie up, but now I'm bringing this movie up for a different. David Spade. He's in the movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Joe Dirt. That is Joe Dirt.
Okay, so he's in this movie and he he basically meets this girl at the airport. You're not gonna watch it. He meets this girl at the airport. It's a comedy. He meets this girl at the airport and they bump into each other. He's been trying to get back with his ex, but his ex-wife, right? He meets this girl in the airport and her name is Melissa. No, first he goes on a date.
I have seen this.
You have.
It's on Netflix.
Okay,
it was amazing.
It's hilarious.
So
we
fucking
watched it
funny.
for the second time on the weekend
No
that
way.
just passed. Yeah.
I only watched it once when it came out. Oh, it was so good.
It's so good. So the threesome scene where he's
can't
about to
picture
have
that
a
now.
threesome with his ex-wife and his new girlfriend Missy, and he ends up paying attention to his new girlfriend. They end up like punching the ex-wife accidentally and like headbutting
Forgot
her.
about that.
And I'm like, this guy just messed up a perfect opportunity.
For sure. I would definitely be as clumsy as that.
There's like, and she's falling out the couch and they're
I
making
fucking
out. She
forgot all
walks out
about
the
that.
room.
Isn't that hilarious? I can't
It's
think of
so
specifics
funny.
of why I fucking that movie. I just remember her. She was so fucking funny.
She was hilarious.
That's hilarious. Why did you watch that again?
They made it because we love it. They made her extremely annoying in the beginning, but she just became more
Undeniable.
funny. Yeah, and David Spade does a great. He's
You're
funny.
right.
He's hilarious.
He was really
right?
good in that.
So I like that kind of. He's like a. I don't want to say a lower grade Ben Stiller, but like he's like I like
Okay.
David Spade. I
I
David
do too.
Spade
He gets not. He's fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like as a stand up and
Oh.
all that. Like he is.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
get
a comics
the credit.
comic.
He doesn't get the credit he
No,
deserves.
but he doesn't look for it.
He doesn't need to, but I like to see him, be pushed up a little
Comics
bit.
speak so highly of him when they
Yeah.
talk about, like David Spade. Like he's right up there. But I think it's because he doesn't have to try so hard. He just fucking is who he is.
Yeah.
And God, I didn't sleep on that movie. I just kind of forgot it. It's weird because you said it so many times. I didn't think of it until you said the girlfriend, and it's like, oh my God, I remember. And I don't even remember the misunderstanding on how they even came together. Like it was just like
he
she
was
was 'cause
texting the Melissa girl from
That's
the
hilarious.
airport, but he ended up texting her
That's
instead.
hilarious.
And then
That's
she
right.
shows up on the plane. He's like, "What are you doing here?"
That's hilarious. Okay, so no spoil. Well, you were about to spoil it for me, but like I don't need to be spoiled. But speaking of spoiled, you've watched all of Hijack.
I
Speaking
have
of airplanes and
I
all that kind of
have.
shit.
I have.
So do you agree with me now that Idris is better than Denzel?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I realized I hit a nerve. It was funny to hear you fucking get so
Not even close.
And I was really legit on my thought. I just like don't hold Denzel. I think that's because he won the first Oscar. I don't know. You tell me. Does Denzel have a higher place in the black community because he's been around? He's so dignified.
Yes.
And he's, you know what I mean? Like
He's like he is.
that helps his status.
I was gonna try and compare him to somebody in the white community. There's a lot of people on on pedestals.
They're overhyped.
I mean, some of them,
Most
like
of-
the Tom Cruise, is he overhyped?
Yes.
Well-
like he's not on any of my pedestals. He's just a movie star. If you told me somebody else was better than Tom Cruise,
You
I'd be
wouldn't
fine
argue
with
with
it.
it?
I wouldn't. There was nobody's going to make me freak out like
Well,
you.
we're not
freak
going to
out.
stop this conversation until you tell me somebody
A
who's
white
on-
dude that's as good that's as influential as I think Denzel is to you.
There is. Remember, I'm a film guy, so I know there's a lot of actors who I hold in
So
high
I don't know.
regard.
Well, then I don't even come like because I don't think of it like a Spielberg as like a white guy. Like I know he is,
but
like he's made the most like John. There'd be no summer blockbusters without John.
one of the best directors, absolutely.
Yeah, but he's not like a white pedestal dude. There is,
But you can
that's a-
say Spielberg, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can say John Woo or whatever, some other director. Go, yeah, I appreciate that.
But that's
I'm not going to put it in the
directors.
same. But yeah, actor.
I know there's one. I think we're just being
David Spade. No. Well, no. This is like again like Adam Sandler.
He is on the pedestal, but that's like in the comedy side.
It's not important enough.
Yeah,
But then who? I'm not looking for fucking like importance. That
Yeah,
almost
but
makes
you-
it better to me.
but like who is like
Like you can't do
it's
it.
hard to say.
No,
Not
you
Tom
can't do it 'cause
Cruise,
there's too
even
many
though
of them.
But name one.
But like
I
fucking
know
John
there's a
Travolta
lot.
at a time.
I love John Travolta.
That's a Bruce Willis at a time.
I love Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but they're not pedestal dudes. They're just actor guys.
John Travolta's not pedestal. He's definitely pedestal. He's not like
But he becomes ridiculous.
groundbreaking.
He's ridiculous now. He's like
Now.
a guy who fucking hides his gayness
Yeah.
or whatever. Like
Yeah.
too much. He's a Scientologist guy. Same with Tom Cruise. Like I think of them more negatively than I just like get off my screen after 2 hours. I've had enough.
But their work is great. I mean, Tom Cruise is
yeah,
just
but you like Denzel for
staying-
bigger and better things, I think.
I do.
Or like I don't know, like it's a perfect example of just say the overabundance or the overkill of like the lack of Denzels for you and the overkill of them for me. But I don't
Yeah.
look at it like that.
But they were I think that's the biggest difference. Denzel was considered like groundbreaking for our community, and I guess you guys don't really have that, but you do. We just can't.
That's not, it's weird to say we because I don't look at the world
I know
like
you
that.
don't look at it like that.
I can't look at
but
the world
it does
like that.
exist.
It serves me ridiculously to look for examples of that. If you're a person that comes to me hard, like
yeah.
this is our Denzel, I'm like, who do you think I'm with you as an R? Like my world is filled with everybody else.
Absolutely, but it's not a combative thing. It's just that's what it is.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not. I guess I don't know why.
Because
Like,
I don't.
It
look
sounds
at,
combative. I don't
it
want
does
to
sound
defend it.
combative, but it's like saying Jackie Chan. For their community, he's their Denzel. It's not a combative thing. He's fucking Jackie Chan. Who argues with Jackie Chan?
So is he the current?
I mean,
And then how dismissive of that? And we're just saying Asian. Then some guy, yeah, well, he doesn't represent my Vietnamese community. And then we're
Yeah,
like, well, we
yeah.
don't care that much.
No, we don't care about that. You
we
guys
have a
are
grander-
big enough, damn it. No.
Yeah,
but like every community has their thing. I think when I see it, I respect everybody's work, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it does exist. Who's
think,
the best MIG welder and who's the best TIG welder?
well, as a like
It's
are
like
you gonna
it-
divide that by race?
No, but it's two communities. It's not necessarily race. It could be like
Oh,
people
well,
who watch only comedies and they have comedy movies. Who's the pedestal in your comedy movie actor?
well, see, when I say Adam Sandler, like, because that's a movie thing. Chappelle doesn't do movies,
Exactly.
and Eddie Murphy hasn't done a good one in so long.
Exactly.
But like that was
But
who
Eddie
I grew
Murphy's
up seeing.
pedestal.
That's right. Eddie Murphy's a pedestal,
And so is Adam Sandler.
and so is Dave Chappelle,
And-
right? And so they go there. So to
And not in the movie world.
okay,
but
no,
yeah.
you're right. No, you're right. But that's okay. So that's how comedy can get dissected. up,
Exactly.
Right? Like
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not looking at you and Denzel in the same kind of way, but it makes me. I don't like people who like want to stick to that so much. Like if somebody tries to say like that, Larry the Cable Guy is their favorite comedian. I'm not going to deny that. But if they say Larry the Cable Guy is better than Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy or David Chappelle, I'm going to wonder if they just don't like black people.
Well, yeah.
Like I don't,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
would.
Like I'm seeing that, and they're going to say Larry the Cable Guy is our David Chappelle. I'm like, don't be putting me in your R, right? Like I'm looking at the whole community, the comedy community in a better way.
That is true.
You and I'm not like disparaging it,
No,
by you
go ahead.
saying this is our guy. I realize it's beneficial for the community to have a guy.
But I wasn't talking about the black community. I was talking about the black actor community. I wasn't
Well,
saying
me too. When I brought up
the black community like as a thing. I was just saying like as black actors, their Denzel Washington is their guy, and as white actors, who is their guy?
But you can't. You
can.
understand? You can't look at like you by saying
can.
that sentence. This is our white Denzel. That's kind of funny.
No, I'm not saying white Denzel. I said pedestal.
Yeah, but that's ignorant. It's a rude. It makes me,
Denzel doesn't make pedestals. He was put on the pedestal.
but the need to the lack of availability for Denzel or Sidney Poitier or you know what I mean, like these
Yeah.
we realize how society like stifled that innovation, just like the Concorde. Like Denzel's
Yeah.
a Concorde of actors.
Absolutely.
Like who knew?
Except
You know what I
he
mean?
didn't fail.
Because it wasn't as because it was undeniable.
Yeah,
like it didn't.
absolutely.
We demanded more Denzel.
Yeah.
Even if all the studio heads were racist as fuck and didn't want black people in their movies, society
couldn't
made
deny
that
it.
change.
Yeah, for
Society's
sure.
made that change now where you can't be in a wheelchair if you're not in a wheelchair already.
Oh yeah.
You can't be fucking trans.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you can't be.
Absolutely.
And it comes from a place where they used to be white Asians playing Chinese people with their fucking stupid accent and their things like that. It's just like, how do we never have that happen again?
For sure, you have those type of
And so
actors
that's
in
why
those
saying
situations.
who's your white pedestal, guys, is like I've never looked at it like that. That's dividing
Are you
it.
serious?
That's dividing it in a wrong way.
I don't think it's the wrong way.
But I look at it. You
I don't
don't,
think
you
it's a
understand
wrong
what I'm
way.
trying to say?
No, I understand what you're trying to say.
I
but
don't want to break it down to a whiteness.
But everything, it's not about white. It's not just whiteness. It's a race thing, realistically, because every race had to do different things to get where they are, right? It's not necessarily that it's not just white. That's what I'm saying.
But by asking me to who's my white pedestal actor, I
Yeah.
get it. I can do
Because
that.
that's what you grew up in, essentially. I'm not talking about you specifically, but it's like music. When I talk to certain people, like when I talk to this guy at work, Gordon, about music, he has no concept of who the pedestal people in hip hop are because that's not his culture. It's not what he grew up in. So if I say to him, Jay-Z is one of the best rappers of all time, he's like, well, I don't know who. I've never heard a Jay-Z song. Well, that's cultural.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm old enough. So he's not mine.
Of
And
course
I like.
not.
I can say
But
I
you
like Biggie.
You like hip hop, exactly.
Yeah. So I can
But that's
argue
different.
that.
I wouldn't even bring you in that type of a conversation.
Okay, but so this is different. That's where you can start to say, okay, Eminem. I'll bring it up to basketball.
Absolutely.
You can say I find it easier to say who's the best white basketball player because it's an outlier.
It's not an outlier though.
But because there's white basketball players.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah, but then
I can name 5 that I love.
that's fine. But there's fucking 100 better black basketball players. And so
Yeah.
the white guy gets because he's white. Because there's a need. It's gross for me to have to want to look out for that. When it comes across, say, oh, look at that guy. He's a good white basketball player. I'm conditioned to look at it in a society where it's like, I realize it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But when the actors come, there was such a leg up not for ability because all the white actors were the better ones. It's because the
Some of them were.
but the white owners of the league purposely colluded to stop the black players from playing.
But I don't look at it like that.
But that's what
At
happened.
this point, I don't look at it like that.
But that's why, and it's kind of an old argument we're having. Like I don't
Yeah.
know when Denzel won his fucking thing, but it's still apparent because that's why I compared Idris Elba to him. I didn't compare fucking Pedro Pascal to fucking Denzel.
Yeah.
Like you didn't either. This is me who brought this whole conversation.
So I could have said that's a race thing.
You could
only,
have.
But that
You know it's
didn't
not.
cross my mind.
I
at
know
the time.
that's my white guilt or something. That's my overthinking the race situation.
Mm.
That's not me carefully selecting my words so I don't say something that exposes my ignorance. That's just me trying not to be ignorant. That's me not wanting to say the wrong thing accidentally. Because I hope you know, like I don't look at it like that. It's sometimes they're undeniable,
Of
but I
course.
never compare this, and this is the most race talk I fucking had, and I don't want to think I look at it like that.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather argue with you that Denzel isn't as good as Idris and compare those two. But by me overthinking it, is it's like, how come I didn't do that with like Pedro Pascal? But I don't think he's as good as Idris Elba. Like if I
could argue that.
If I tried to argue, well, that'd be retarded.
Jay.
That would be fucking really retarded. And so
I mean, he's doing a great job right now.
he's killing it.
Yeah.
He's really killing it. And again,
Yeah.
he's not even white. He's fucking Spanish or
Yeah,
something, right? Like
yeah.
so, but who cares? Again,
It doesn't
they're
matter.
down the
Doesn't matter.
No pedestals for them. So I don't know. Like that's all. That's why I don't have like that white pedestal person like that. It's wrong for me to think in that terms. You're not wrong
I don't
to
think
ask
it's
it.
wrong.
I know, but that's how I informed all my things, and I wouldn't do it. Like I don't know. I just don't.
You know what?
So,
I'm gonna bring more race talk into it.
I don't even know who my
Do you-
favorite actor is.
What?
I'm just trying to think. Go
Jay,
ahead.
well, I mean, I don't think I have one either. I think I would have to name a bunch.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. So, do you think I'm going to race talk now? Do you think it's weird? I'm gonna try and word this in a way that you won't make you feel a little uncomfortable. But do you think
Appreciate
it's
that.
weird that you have to be on your heels to talk about that kind of a comparison? Like you have to be conscious that you're not saying. I'm not talking about like you specifically. In this sense, I'm talking about like white people in general have to be conscious so much so about everything they say now. It's like how we talk about the LGBTQ community. Like we have to be on our heels about everything we say when 20 years ago, we could say whatever words we want, right? 15 years, when I was in high school, man,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like now it's like, we as black people don't have to have that. We don't really have that onus on us to be careful of the certain things we say. We just fucking say whatever we say, and then we're just like, yeah, well, nobody tells us you can't say that.
So in that, I get what you're trying to say. You're just bouncing off of what I just said to you.
Bad.
You bounce it off of but you're bouncing off of my very bad example of me trying to say. Like couching my words. Like you were just saying, like, why would you even think of having to couch your words?
Yes.
Because I don't have the luxury, like, because I was in this scenario. So I think I do find myself in a not tiptoeing, because even in the LGBT community talk, I say it how I like to say it. Yep. I say to you, try to be more accepting of it. Like, not to push you in a way. I feel more accepting of it because I've been like that about race my whole life. Mm-hmm. I was in high school before you. I've heard all the words. Yep. I've told you the community or the communities that I could have been stuck in. Like, it's so easy to find people that use race to inform their friend group, to inform what they watch, and as a white person, you can see it now. You can tell people when they say something retarded, like, oh, yeah, I have some black friends. Like, like that comes across, like they might be trying to think it and say something away, but you hear it as an informed young person, not even a black person, I don't know, but as a person like, oh, that's not, like, by you saying that just informs me of what you're about to say now or everything you say. I'm conscious of that. I'm never going to say, oh, I understand gays because I have gay friends. Like, I accept that because I don't know that community at all. If they tell me they exist, and it's ethereal because you don't see them as black or Asian. You have to take them on their word that they're gay. True. And then it becomes this like, okay, well, are you just confused? You're a girl? Like, I don't know. But it's so ignorant to that person if they really are that. It's like me telling you your community is wrong. It is, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be upset about slavery or fucking white fucking only water fountains. I've seen the pictures. I know that exists. I don't want to perpetuate that.
That's fair.
So by stepping on eggshells, it's just like I can't my words because I want to get my thoughts out as clear as I think them. Yeah. And I want to be so accepting, because the second you're not I'm denying the race of the other person. Like, we were watching, so on Big Brother, I just realized, like, so there's one black male. There's a bunch of black females, but there's only one black male, Cerie's son.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like,
there is. I didn't notice that.
I know you didn't. You will. And so and so half a spoiler alert. And so, but what was more apparent was there was a Sikh. Yep. Right? There's a Sikh, and he's the first Sikh.
Is that the doctor?
No, he's Muslim. He's
Muslim, okay.
Right? But he's a fucking, like, so he's Muslim, the Sikh. And so the Muslim can identify with the Sikh who says, like, I'm the first one in my town. Like, our family was the first Sikh town in whatever, somewhere in Oregon or fucking some place like that. That's so retarded to us. Yeah. Like, in grade 5, I remember having Sikh people, like, in our, I didn't know who they were, but you know what? They didn't have their turban, but they had the little turban. Yeah. And they had the bun.
It's not a foreign concept.
But to a fucking grade 5 or grade 6, you're just an other. They're so easy to mock. Like, I don't want to go back at all the fucking school things and all the othering that I did with other people out of ignorance. But that's how you get indoctrinated to everything. I could have went down the whole path. I already talked. Like, I could have easily kept in my own white bubble. It's just a goddamn one bun head, two bun head. You were so disrespectful to them, and they just had to take it. Yep. Oh yeah, your silly names and all that. Now everybody's name is silly. Yep. Right? Like white, black, brown. Like, it doesn't. You have to be accepting of another name. Yeah. Like when our boss comes and says, "Where's all the Johns? Where's all the Jimmys?" Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's such an ignorant statement, right? Like, you look at him. Like, maybe you look at him in a certain way, but it's like, oh, that's just an old white guy. Like, not carefully saying what he's saying. He's not saying it as an ignorant thought, but it's so ignorant to say. Like, you know what I mean? You can't, he's grandfathered in. Like, that's a funny thing I like to say that, right? He's grandfathered in on that. My grandfathered in has nothing to do with social concepts. Okay. My grandfathered in is like, it's, I guess what I'm not trying to bounce what I'm saying is I'm trying to explain is why I have to be careful on how I say it out loud.
Yeah, and I get why.
I don't want to just blurt it out.
No, I get why. That makes sense, because I think we do have to be conscious of the words we say. We can't just blurt everything out. But it's been in my lifetime, I've seen the flip where it's gone from where you don't have to be conscious to now where you have to be, where the point is like, okay, so would it be weird if I was a white guy and we were having this conversation about the black pedestal and the white pedestal?
It would be.
It would be weird. But because I'm not, and we can have this conversation, it's a little less weird.
It's not. It seems less. It seems more weird because we're making it weird by comparing it to the whites only talking about it.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys who, if I was listening to a podcast and there was two white guys talking about a white pedestal and a black pedestal in acting, I wouldn't think of it in any way. I would be like, okay, that makes sense because
it's a conversation.
It's a conversation. It's happened. It is all these societies. Nobody freaking these Chinese people were watching
the Warriors,
Jet Li, or even like foreign movies, right? Like complete Chinese movies. My mom watches a lot of Chinese and Japanese movies. Like that, she loves that shit. Yeah, I know. And so she watches that. The people who are watching that in their country don't hold Pascal to his, is that his name? His last
Pascal
name?
Patriot.
It just said weird because I was thinking about Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about that guy. He's not nowhere near on the pedestal. Well, he's in Disney, but now his face is not shown, so it's not as widely done. But we can't say The Last of Us is as big in China as it is here. It's probably not.
Know.
Yeah. So they have their own things. They don't even consider us as a pedestal, and that's a cultural thing. It's a real thing. So it can be a conversation that I don't think we need to have eggshells about.
So you're right. I'm not. The eggshells are. I don't know. I'm not trying to say they're good or bad.
No. I don't know what they are.
That conversation that you're bringing up, like it's just two random white dudes are talking and putting the black pedestal. It's a less authentic conversation if there's not a black person to join that conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a uninformed conclusion. Right. Like it's why like sports panels have more diverse people on them now. Mm-hmm. It's why there's always, you could just say, oh, there's just a random chick thrown in there. But now there's random ex-basketball players that are in there. Yep. And it's just a different line of thinking. If we just kept going on with the fucking old white guy giving their fucking line of thinking, we would have a pregame conversation going, can you believe the name of this running back? Like, why is his name not John? Yeah. And then it's just like, that's true. It's a devolved thought.
Yeah.
There's no room for expansion. There's no room for globalization of that. My original point with the guy on Big Brother is it's like to hear his truth about, and again, the whole way we talk is not like we talked in 20 years ago or 40 years ago. So you have to just accept it or go home. Yeah. So his truth is that he grew up in a segregated community. Like he got made fun of in 1995 or whatever it is for being a Sikh. But we're so foreign to that concept because we grew up with them. Yeah. We can other them. That's their community, all that. But you know what? I like shawarma. I like this or that. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, that, or the other is good. I'd rather go to a Diwali church before I'm going to go to your church because they got all the fancy lights and fireworks.
Oh, that's true.
Like, fuck you. I'm going somewhere else before you're dragging.
Jay, you gotta go.
Flowing robes.
You know how great of an episode that would be after you go? I'm just saying. I know,
yeah. You're saying this one's not?
This one's fantastic.
So when I see that, I have to just assume he's right. Mm-hmm. Off of what I knew when I was making fun of somebody with a bun fucking turban when I was in grade 5 or 6. By the time I get to grade 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, you're really trying hard if you want to stay in that hate.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's there for the taking. It's easy to fucking bring those people in. Just like I assume it's easy to make an ISIS soldier because you're watching drones bomb your city all day.
Yep.
And just say, no, you know what? These Christians are coming from a nice place. No, fuck them. They all want to take this or that or the other.
Yep.
And we make it easy for the propaganda machine to turn it on us. And so I don't want to, I reject those thoughts. And when it comes to something like that, like, yes, I should be careful of the words I choose.
I agree.
Because, because it's so easy to have to have something construed the wrong way or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just don't want in this kind of thought, like you and I know I'm not your friend just because I want to have a black friend.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
you didn't have a choice in the matter, so it doesn't.
So that's on you.
Yeah.
But like you became my friend because you get whatever. You're fun to talk to. Mm-hmm. Your opinions are fun to listen to. you more than other people can change my mind on shit. Like it's rare.
Except for church.
Very rare. Yeah, you're not a batting 100. You know what I mean? Like you're fucking putting some foul balls out there. So, but not everything should be a hit.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but that's fun. Like I don't hate you for that thought. Your thought on that is very individual. I look at you I try to look at you like, or everybody like I look at you as an individual.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to race or something like that, like, oh man, the spoiler on Big Brother.
Please just fucking spoil it. Now I know these two conversations go together. You have to spoil it.
The problem with it was such casual racism.
Okay, so what happened?
You should have watched the show.
Nope, just tell me, Jay.
I don't want to tell you.
It's just one part. Just tell me.
I don't want to tell you.
Come on, Jay.
Okay, you want me to tell you?
I want you to tell me.
Are you going to tell Selena before she sees it or watches it?
No.
So the show goes on. I think the show starts, and because it was a live Thursday, and I kind of got some spoilers on Twitter or X or whatever. It said something. I was like, well, what that? But I didn't explore it. So I kind of forgot about it. She opens the show, this, that, or the other. She goes, and due for somebody, fucking whatever, the terms of conduct, something about conduct, right? Like
violated
conduct codes.
Okay.
Somebody's been kicked out. And so you watch the episode go and you see how it fucking projects, and we quote unquote joked, because I get to joke about it. It's like, oh my god, there's 3 out of 4 black people are on the fucking block.
Yep.
And all this kind of thing. And then the year before, the guy, the ignorant kid was like, oh, we got to stop these black people from coming together, and he got railed against it. We all realize why. And so there's 2 black women on the block, an older one and a younger one, right? Do you remember that?
Yep.
Right? Kirsten and Felicia. Or she didn't even Felicia. Started. But anyway.
Yep.
And so one of the people were alone with Kirsten, the younger one, and she was pouring her heart out a bit. Like she was fucking saying like this and that, and he was listening to her. I can't even describe. I'm not even going to tell who it was, but there was somebody listening to her, a white person, and whatever. Like they talked, and just kind of like a normal conversation.
So they're all in a room together?
No, just 2 people. Just two people. Like the Kirsten, the younger black girl up on the block, and a dude.
The one they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, that's right. She was the conversation. Yeah, so from both sides actually, it's retarded. But but anyway, it's good. It's a really good show. It's like that part of it. So this person is talking to this person, and you don't even know if this is the incident they're talking about or whatever. So the next scene, like they talk for a couple minutes. So this person goes back into the room, into another bedroom with Cerie's son and the nerdy kid, like the debate talker.
Oh yeah.
And Haitham, the Muslim doctor.
Muslim doctor, yeah.
And they're all, and then so the other guy comes up and he's like saying, yeah, I was just talking to Kirsten and I was telling her that this wasn't fair, like this was like that and the other. And just like total kind of casual conversation. And he's kind of like looking at the nerdy kid, and Haitham was right there. And they bleeped out almost everything that he said. Like
what?
he's just like casual this, like I'm telling you, yeah, that's kind of unfair. They're gang up. Usually this kind of doesn't happen, like this and that. And then I think he just casually said that, yeah, so I was just down there with this N-word and and just listening to what they said.
Wow.
Like staring at, like, you know what I mean? Like expecting you to just accept that word.
So it's a word he uses regularly.
It's undeniable. You've never heard it brought out like that, like this in the most casual way.
Now I want to know if it's a hard R or not.
It's a hard R. There's no, because like it's all, they you can't even see his lips move. Like like, what did he really say? You realize what he has, like, because the story that comes, you know what I mean? Like what word he used. In this day and age, they don't even say N-word. You know what I mean? Like N-word is not even the right way to say it.
Yeah.
It's a racial slur, and a black racial slur, we get it.
Absolutely.
And so in just casual conversation, it was just like, yeah, I was talking to this chick. I was talking to this dude. I was talking to this racial slur.
Wow.
And then he stopped, and then he realized, so the nerdy kid looked, and all of a sudden, like his eyes, like, because I rewound it a couple, like, I was just like, what? And he just said, the nerdy kid goes, because they were all about ready to kind of go to bed or something like that. And the nerdy kid just looked, as soon as he said, he goes, hey man, you got to go to bed. And him and Hyacinth walked out of the room.
So they were both shocked,
just floored. And then Jared,
the nerdy kid's white too, right? Yes,
white, and he's 17 years old.
Yeah,
and he's like smart as a whip.
He's in this.
He understands the eggshell part.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands it like me. like that he used to rag on, like, you know, turban
Well, he
heads
doesn't
in
have
grade
that
five,
history,
but he also knows what's right and wrong.
Yes,
right. Like he knows.
He grew up in woke culture.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
He's so woke. You'd probably hate how woke he might be.
I was thinking
but you
that.
would not hate how he reacted to something like that.
Okay.
Like it was so foreign. The other guy's saying it in a way like he says it all the time. Like that's how he describes people who wear hats.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, that hat wearer, that overall wearer, you know, that Nike shoe wearer, right? Like whatever it is. And so he was like, what did you do? And he was just like, oh, he didn't want to fight him. He's not, he's so also so woke that he wasn't going to white savior the moment. He wasn't going to go
exit.
Yeah, he's just like, you know what? But there was a black guy on the fucking in the bed.
Oh yeah, you said
Jared was right there. So he heard it. He said it to all them, but he's talking to him. He says the word. The guy, oh, you got to go to bed. He looks over at Jared and he's like, and he starts stumbling. He starts fucking going, like he starts like backtracking. He didn't know
he was in the room already.
He probably didn't care. He probably did because they kind of had casual conversation. But right now he's just saying, yeah, that hat wearer.
Yeah,
you know, that chick who wears a red hat. And so that's how gross it was.
That's bad,
right? Like it wasn't.
That's way worse than last season.
Like last season, I could almost. I don't want to be.
I could defend it too.
Yeah, like that was just like ignorance, and he was just coming from a strategy point.
Yeah,
like it's like there are groups of people that are conspiring. It has nothing to do with race, but you know it happened last year, so he has that redemption like available to him
for sure.
So this other guy says it in a way like, oh, it just raises all these other questions, like. Only time I brought up that word to you is it's like I used to like I sing it. You know, if it's in a song, I didn't put it in there, and I was whatever. So, but I'm not going to defend it to the death. I'll just, you know what I mean, like have my point, but I'll just like fine. I'm not going to sing it. But you know, like if I'm in my car and the song comes on, I'm singing all the words because I'm not doing it in a detrimental way.
Yeah,
I'm rhyming. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm so conscious of it, right? Like, and I'm so aware that I'm. Like I don't even want to know how I would respond to like if we were so huge and I got tons of hate fucking X's or tweets about my opinion.
Yeah,
I would be, you know what I mean, like have to hear it and have to defend it in a way, but it's nothing that I need to defend like that. My understanding of it is I'll take society's lead on that, and I'd rather talk to you. I don't have you around for it, but I'd rather say, oh, I wonder what Brian's opinion of this is, because it means more than Sean's opinion of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like Sean, who cares? And so this guy with the hat is going to be, or what did it say that? So he looks and he sees Jared on the side. Like you're going to see all this other stuff yourself. And Jared, or whatever his name is, like kind of just stayed in his bed. And so then the guy tried to defend himself to Jared. He's like, oh man, this guy. And he was like, he's so stupid. He was like, oh, I was going to say he's a real narwhal. Like
what?
That word came out of his fucking mouth.
Are you serious?
And then
Who uses that word?
Exactly. And so Jared was fucking like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, just in his confessionals, he even puts him in a position, was like, maybe I should have been more outraged. Like maybe I should have, and this is what I realized, goes, you know, as the only black guy in the house, like I felt that if I got outraged, it would be a wrong example to show. It would just be another, you know what I mean? Like black guy going, you know what I mean? Like raging too much or something, right? Like, and so, which is understandable, you know what I mean? Like I get that. And he's just being him. I want him to react as how he's going to want to react, like as watching a show like this. You know, I don't want him to put on what he thinks we want to see. I want to see what he does. And so, so we just like let him talk, like kind of let him talk. And he's just like keep backtracking himself. He even goes to a point, and I don't know if this other guy's like from the South or he thinks he's like in a diverse culture, because he's like, he was trying to say, oh, he freaked out like a white savior type. Like he said, this guy is more angry than you are that I said that word.
Wait, he said that?
Like the guy who said it said to Jared, it says, hey man, how come Chuck over here is more upset than you by me saying the word? Like he's out of line for taking it too far.
Are you serious?
And so Jared's just like seething. You could see it in his eyes and his body. It's just like,
are you serious?
Yeah, for real, dude. And so that thing happens. To everybody else's in the house's credit, I don't know how they didn't bring it up. You hear no other conversation about it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep spoiling it for you unless you want me to stop.
Yeah.
And so
I do want you to keep going.
So it goes. I thought for sure the nerdy kid was going to go, hey, did you hear what fucking Chuck said in there? Like, can you believe that? But again, to his credit, it's not his problem. Nope. Like this is, you know what I mean, between him and Jared. And so, or whatever, the producers. So next thing you know, so he, tries to backtrack and you see him and he's just like, oh, he realizes, oh, I fucked up. Like he's not sad for saying the word. He's sad for
He said it on air.
he said it on air, and he's defending it. Go, oh look at this guy doesn't understand that some of us can casually use that word.
Oh God.
Like you know what I mean? Like he's trying to like put himself in a position that it's okay for him to say it. It's okay for me to say it.
Oh God.
And
I
so-
thought that conversation was over.
It's so gross. Well, apparently it's the same as the Sikh not having any fucking buddy in his
Yeah,
community.
That's true.
Like it's over to us. And me tiptoeing over, like saying I'm tiptoeing words, it's not because that's what I should do. I should be careful what I say. So anyway, the life goes on for a bit. Next thing you know, like whatever, they cut to the next scene, they do a couple of things, and then you hear on the speaker, like whatever his name is, I can't forget, come to the fucking diary room. And so he's all like kind of just shameful, fuck diary room. And you don't see anything else. You see him going to the diary room, and then he's gone. Because you already know somebody's gone.
Yep.
And when they say that, you're kind of looking when they got everybody around on the couch, like who's not there? Okay, he's there, he's there. Who got kicked? Julie already told us somebody's kicked off. So then you realize who said what they said or what they did. So he goes off. And next, I don't know how they don't know already because the head of household chick, she comes out of the diary room now. So however much time has passed, she got a card. Goes, yeah, everybody, we got a meeting. And so everybody's there. She goes, yeah, fucking Luke. That sounds like a racist name. Luke has been voted off for code of conduct material. And everybody's like, what? Like they didn't know. And so you see the nerdy debate guy kind of look at Jared and just like, and so this is where it got a little, again, it's all awkward, but it was a little awkward. Jared, like the debate guy, like realizes Jared's not going to say anything.
Yeah.
And people want to know what's going on. Like, does anybody know? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? And so he knows, right? Like, and so he goes, okay, well, I mean, this is what happened. And he said in this casual way, and it was so gross. And so people are like, this is where he said a derogatory term, like for black people, and people's fucking jaws drop.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's jaws drop. And then Jared felt the need to speak up. And he's like, listen, he sounded a little annoyed with the kid in a way, but he tried to not defend, but he tried to explain himself on why he didn't tell anybody, on how he was feeling about it. And he was still kind of processing the whole thing. It seemed like he didn't even tell his mom, Suri, about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah, 'cause
was.
his mom probably would have flipped.
Maybe I just don't think he wanted. I don't know if he found a reason to want to tell anybody. I think maybe he was still in the middle of processing how gross it was, or all these overthoughts. Maybe he felt so alone. I don't know, because I look at it. I was like, oh, look how diverse they're making the cast, or whatever.
I see that, but I don't see like why he would like there's no way that would be his first time somebody saying that word around
That's
him.
how many times did he just internalize it, or you know what I mean, like find no
Yeah.
reason to care to bring it up.
Like I feel like his that reaction is somewhat normal. I know people who react that way. Like I probably would react more so on the think about what I'm gonna do first. I'm not gonna like lash out like how some people I know would.
Yeah.
But like it can't be. I think okay. Continue.
have to-
I want to watch it
You
first.
need to. That's what I mean. You need to watch. Now, I hate
before
that you have all
so
this
much
knowledge
comments.
watching it all, but maybe it won't hurt your watching of it all. But it'd be curious. See, nobody else I can talk to. I mean, I
Yeah.
can, but nobody, my friend, can give me what they would do in that situation.
Yeah.
It's all theory.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I wonder what a black person would do in that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't talk to somebody about it. I can only internalize about it, right? And then that's its own thing, but it's never as good as talking to somebody about it, right? And that's why you should have a diverse bunch of friends. Not to get informed more, but for your own information, like for your
Absolutely.
own personal growth,
For sure.
for not being like it's so wrong. Like I said before, it's your personality that draws me to be a friend, not because you can inform me on this situation.
Yeah.
But if I didn't want to have you as a friend, I would never get this insight into this situation.
Exactly.
And it's going to make everybody I know, not that they would already know about it, but better off because I'm giving them
a different side
look
of
on it. Like
yeah.
it's again, they're going to just take it as my opinion and they get to inform themselves about it.
Yeah.
But it'd be gross. And I don't know how gross it is to say, yeah, well, I talked to my friend who happens to be black, and then he said this is what it made him feel. And then that's going to trump every other conversation. And I'm not doing it because I got a trump card on this. This is like, yeah, like
But it's a real thing.
it's a real thing that
Yeah.
naturally happened
Yeah.
when it comes to this part. And so, but his defense, and I go, I felt for him for being so alone in that spot. Like he's got his mom there, and he's got other like black women in there or whatever. But he's the only one that's grown up as a black male.
Yeah.
We look at black males totally different than black females.
Absolutely.
Right? Like we look at females and males all different, all that kind of thing, unless you're in that community, whatever. Good power to you. But like
don't muddy the waters, Jay.
Yeah, but like it's so, you know what I mean? Like, and so that's where it becomes very interesting to watch how he processes it. Just like you said, like it's not the first time, it's not that. And when he's honest enough to say, like, I'm conscious of maybe not doing what my first reaction is to be, because then how is that perceived?
Yep.
I am the only black male example on this fucking national, worldwide show. And so I don't want to feed that stereotype.
Yep.
I don't want to come across as the angry black dude. I've heard that before. I'm more angry than you. For somebody to look at us and hear us debated and say, hey, that's one angry black guy, and not come across and go, yeah, that other guy's way more angry than he is.
Yeah.
They're looking for that.
Yeah.
They are informed of something way before that conversation happens. And so he's obviously aware of that conversation happening, but so he doesn't do it. He even says that I don't even want to the group. I don't even want to go any further on this. Like, you know what I mean? He did it. He said it in a way that was very charitable to the fucking Luke. He says, I don't think he was malicious. I've heard that word so many times in all different and I'm just trying to paraphrase how he said it. I've heard that word used all different ways. That my friends use it, whatever, this and that. Not me talking.
Yeah. Wait, your friends use that word, Jay? What the hell?
Only you. And so he's like, yeah, so I didn't look at it like that. Like he said, I don't know if I would have even kicked him out of the house for it. He would rather have the conversation with him and explore more of it.
I would have kicked him out the house for it.
I would too, because you should know better.
Yeah.
Whatever he's going to learn from it, he'll learn from it here.
Yeah.
The grossness comes in the casualness of it.
Yes.
The grossness.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like he said it in a very casual way, and it's like just part of his everyday language with him and his boys. And that's the real big issue about it. And
so again, to his credit, he didn't piggyback on that 100% fact and use it to further make that point aware. He's like, yeah, he is who he is, and that's it. Yeah. I don't feel like if anything, now I can't make him better. Yeah, is how his view was of it. Yeah. When I imagine his mom rewatching this and see how casual it was, she'd feel so angry at this person existing, but she'd feel so something for her son having to just sit there and listen to it.
Of course.
And he's going to come off as it's the best thing that Jared has done is that reaction to it, because and even everybody's reaction to it was like as it was. They didn't use it. The problem last year is that the best player of the house, the kid with the glasses, used that race card in a way as a game move. Yeah, right. He didn't bring up fucking Kyle. You know what I mean? He only brought it to black people's attention when it was beneficial to him, and he got called out for it right away. Yeah, and he'll never not get called out for it every time. It's informed us because he could have been one of the greatest players ever. Yeah. But now we know. But he didn't do it because he's a racist. He did it because he didn't understand how that important that conversation should have been before it became a political key in his thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, and fucking I can't believe I spoiled it for you. I wanted to talk about it so bad. So it's your own fault for not watching it.
I'm happy you spoiled it because like it's just annoying. That like this kind of, I see why he reacted that way, because it's exhausting to always have to explain this to people. And when you go about your life dealing with so many people who get it, and then you get somebody who doesn't get it, and you're like, really? Still?
Yeah.
Like
exhausting is the best word.
Yeah.
That's a great word to say.
And it's just, so I get why he would react like, then just be like, okay, whatever. He is who he is and whatever. But what's also exhausting is that this is still so much of a reoccurring theme on Big Brother. And I get it. It's so many people from completely different parts of the country. Like they go all over the place, try to get as much of the demographic represented as they can. But like every single season, it has some sort of this undertone, when there's so many other undertones that could have been that have potential to happen. This one is like basically a guarantee almost every season.
So you're right, and that's a depressing kind of way to go about it. It's
annoying. It's more so that it's annoying that we still have to be like, oh my God, like this is really something that's still, like I thought this was casted out.
Is there a positive take on it that it becomes so gross when we see it? Is that like is there any growth into how it's reacted upon?
Well, that's why I think it's so annoying, because there has been so much growth that to still see it is annoying. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Especially it's usually a youth-driven show. The audience is extremely young. So that just shows that it's just still prevalent in certain communities, that you can go on TV and still not be aware, and still not be aware of the situation.
Yeah.
And knowing that everybody, sorry to cut you off.
No,
again,
please.
Knowing that everybody that you know is watching this, you're probably your whole town or city or whatever, and you still aren't aware of that the situation.
Yeah, but I'm not okay, so I'm not surprised. I am surprised in a way, like how you're saying it like that. But I'm not surprised is that like it's just there's so many bubbles out there. Like these communities can be so far and like
for sure,
like far and wide. And we look at like we seem to like TV and the internet and Twitter makes everything so small. We think we know everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
And this is where like, but we have no idea. Like towns are so fucking small and they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. And like, and in the States, you know, you go to these places like the sheriff's been the sheriff for 20 years. Yeah. Like it seems so archaic, but it's not, they use the idea of like it's the same as that fucking song, like not in our town, or try that in a small town. Yeah. Right? Like you're a fucking moron. Like how are you comparing the LA riots to something in fucking buttfuck Georgia? Yeah. Like they're two totally different existences. Yep. And the people that want to stay in that buttfuck town, part of them are fucking happy. They use ignorance as a reason why they don't want to expand their worldview.
Yeah, but that's in a bubble of people, like-minded people. How is it that bad where you can get to people who are not the same mindset on a national stage and still not be aware of it? So, like, I know, like you said, we talk on this show and you are aware. You're conscious of the things you say and how you have to say it and how you want to try and get your thoughts through the words properly. How can you not do that on a bigger stage than this? Maybe it's just baffling to me that people aren't conscious of what they say.
My argument you're right. My argument gets shot down is because how are you a Big Brother fan and still have these thoughts?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Right? Like it's one thing to never heard of Big Brother.
You've never seen a season before?
It's like whatever, that's fine. Like, oh yeah, the fucking libtards making me watch the show. But you're a fan of the show. You want to be on it. Yeah. How are you not aware of that? Yep. How can you, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you watch the show hating? Oh my God, they got like, but I think there's people, I'm not rude enough to not think that those people exist. Yep. Those people existed in my past. I've removed myself from any of that situation, but it doesn't make me think that those people aren't there. Well, I just don't want to fucking deal with it. Yep. I don't want to be associated with that. And that's where we come to the white pedestal. Oh, that sounds something like Chuck would say. Not Chuck, that word, but you know what I mean? That sounds like somebody like this person who has racist thoughts would want to have to defend. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, there's Denzel, but this guy's greater because he's white.
He's this guy.
But you know what I mean? Like that's what makes me feel.
Okay, I see that.
That's not
where I was going with it.
I got so many faults, but I think that's why I think that.
True.
I can't put white, like when somebody says a fighter's got like brown power, and then they're fighting, well, you know, if I was a fighter, I put white power on my fucking belly. It's a different combination. But somebody wants to argue that. Well, why does he get to put brown power and I'm not? You know, I mean, it's the whole fucking tiki torch fucking revolution.
That's
like they're stealing our culture. Your culture's not worth stealing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I've hit it, like, so I don't ever look at it like, but I know it's there and I just never want to kind of be associated with that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, part of maybe my thinking of that is because I have watched Big Brother all these years. I don't know. I don't want to say that's the reason, but it's why I defended Canadian Big Brother last week too. It's just like, you could say whatever you want. Like the cast isn't as, exciting or bring much to the table, but what they bring to the table is none of this,
for sure,
right? Maybe more over the top of the gender stuff, but I'd much rather, that's a much kinder, gentler world that I want to be a part of, that I'd rather try to just understand or accept. And if you lean too hard on like it and the Alphabet City people, then it sounds too much like more the race card, like the race angle.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just bounce myself off of it. But in the whole gender thing, I don't have kids that they're teaching this shit in school. I don't have kids in Florida that they're teaching this other, you know what I mean, like slavery shit to and all that other stuff. And so I can just look at it as a conversation. It has real world application to me. And yeah, like if me and another friend were talking about what happened on Big Brother, we could have the same words like being said, but it would be less hollow without somebody from the Black community also chiming in. It would not be as good of a conversation. Not because we would be ignorant to their like line of thinking. Like also nobody can have and it's not worth defending, but nobody can have my line of thinking of, like you said, what it's like to have to be sure you're not saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not looking at it like, oh, I'm about to say the wrong thing.
No.
You're just saying what's on your mind. Most of what we say is funny, or we think it's funny. It's in a jokey type of way. This is like dead serious.
Yeah.
So the words have to mean something else, right? But even in this kind of realm, like I've heard, like we've talked about, like Tariq, I've heard like make a joke or this and that, or use something, even like, oh, that's Alvin's son or whatever. Like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Like this, it's not worth it. It's not funny. Yeah, there's something there, I guess, but it's overall it looks like something else.
Yeah.
It informs other things.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm looking at it like that. Like, is this funny enough to say? Okay, no, don't say it. Like, it's not there. Like, you can't. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's the
payoff isn't big enough, man.
Yeah, but you're also. If you thought that too, go, hey, that kind of looks like Alvin. Oh, because his hair, whatever. To say you wouldn't look at it like you're never going to look at it like that.
No,
he's looking at it just to look at using race in a funny way, and yeah, like you have to be careful on how you say that, right? Like I don't know what I'm probably even fucking stepping on my own toes here for trying to say what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, like this is where choosing your words come in wisely. It's not like, oh, I was about to say that. It's just like my mind has already said like don't say it like don't say something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's more funny, like whatever, when somebody comes in and says, hey, Johnny, is that your dad? Because he just kind of looks like him. Yeah. He might have a tan or he's like shaved head or whatever it is.
Completely black, but look exactly like Johnny.
That's we know what we're informed with.
Yeah.
When somebody out of the blue says, hey, is that your son? Is it, you know what I mean? Like we thought it was gross right away.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying like everything we talk is edited, but I don't look at it like you were trying to say it before. Is it's like I have to fucking be careful on how I say it. I've just realized that from like way back in the day, we didn't have to say it like that. We didn't have to worry about other people. But I hate when my feelings are hurt. So I'm going to be careful on not hurting other people's feelings.
Yeah.
It'd be funny because we use retard all the time. I hate that might make somebody feel bad. And I don't want to defend myself like, but that's not what I mean. And I do that, but it's wrong for me to fucking stick too long to that. That's not a race thing. I know you know what I'm talking about with that.
Yeah.
And so you agree with me, but you also agree with it, but I want to say it. And I'm saying it in this way. But like, how long are you going to defend that thought?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like you get it with that word.
I get it.
Right? And so, but those are all people that need like help getting up or whatever, right? Like what's their pedestal?
I don't know. That's true. George Clooney.
Oh, that's my favorite white actor?
That's one of mine.
Maybe Brad Pitt.
I love Brad Pitt.
Holy shit.
It's not a bad
Am I
thing.
sweating here because of the fucking talk or because of the room being hot?
Maybe both. But I think that was a good conversation, though.
I hope so, man. Yeah, like I think that's, like I said, it does make me feel a certain way, but I feel, like I said, I'm looking at it as a total observer. My opinion means something to you, and I'm making these people listen to it. But my opinion is way less important than other people's opinions. In societal, nobody, you know what I mean? Like they want to hear from you about this, not me.
Yeah, but you know, I think everybody has a certain perspective to give, and if you can get the right person to give the proper perspective, I think it's very, very valuable.
So, what do you think? I'm not asking for free. What did I say that might have been wrong, like in this conversation?
Nothing really.
Like, am I more ignorant than I think I am? Like, am I trying? Like, I don't want to. I try to talk in a way that I know nothing. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. But like, do I sound like I'm just trying not to say the wrong word?
Not really, no.
Does that sound like I have the wrong word ready to go?
It does sound like, and I've ran into this before. It does sound like it's in. So we know you're conscious of it, but it sounds like you're conscious of it. That's the difference.
So does that just make me feel like, oh, he's just smart enough to not say the word he wants to say? Or am I just like coming across and I'm conscious of like what I want to be perceived as?
Yes, it's like it's hard because, like you said, somebody could catch this episode on Twitter and take anything you say, not this episode, this show, and take anything you say out of context and just rail you for it, right? You don't have the same luxury as I do. This is weird to say, but you don't have the same luxury as I do to be able to say so much things and not be. I would be ridiculed for other things, of course, for sure. But in this situation, you don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that you're aware that you don't have that luxury.
Okay, and I want that to be the case.
Yeah.
I want to be perceived as smart. You know what I mean? I want to be, it's odd that you heard all these topics on 91 things now.
Yeah.
But I want to be perceived as genuine. I want to be perceived as
for sure
nice guy. And I don't want my negative tendencies to other people or all that. Yeah, like I'm just it's not like it's easy to go down that road. I just don't want to stumble over my words.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the right thing because that's what I'm thinking. But that's also what a racist would say.
For sure.
I think. But I also want my people's opinion of me to be informed by all the little things, like the whole total package
mm-hmm.
of how he comes at everything,
mm-hmm.
right? Like when it comes to, like, see, I'll say it now because I'm conscious of it, like the R word, you know, like it's just like, you know what I mean? Like I would hate to defend that word to anybody. It's just my own feel of luxury to say it. I don't look at it like, oh, that's one of the last words I get to use. I just like saying it in that kind of way. When it comes to gay, I also know that, like, oh, you know, that we're just saying it as lame. Okay, so you're saying all gay people are lame?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then you just, like, you become the ignorant, it becomes to defend that word in that kind of way. It's like, well, I understand. Like, I want my gay friends to get it, but I don't get the whole process anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I know like you exist and I want love to, like, conquer all. So, you know, go ahead, be you. Like, yes, I'll change everything else. Like, I'm not going to fly the rainbow flag, but I'm also not going to fly the upside down cross flag either. Right? Like, I'm just like going to live and let live.
Yeah.
And learn to accept it. Like that, like I said, like it's been around. Like I said, like I've just learned to accept like the Muslim. It's only becoming this social concept way. It's just like, oh yeah, look at what's Diwali going on. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like who cares? But oh, that's like in a religious conversation, which I hate having.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I do hate having. But then I'll just like, you know what? Why don't I go fuck with those people for a while?
Well, actually, now you know it's Diwali. It's not what is that, Diwali? No, it's like it's Diwali. Why is there fireworks? Obviously, are you dumb?
That's right.
Do you not know what's going on?
But how many communities rail against that?
Yeah,
right. Like not in our town.
Yeah,
like try that in a small town.
Yeah,
they're mean Diwali.
Fireworks is only for Christmas.
Yeah, 4th of July.
4th of July.
You know what I mean? Like whatever. Like I just don't want to be. I'm conscious of not wanting to sound like that.
Yeah.
And this is the most we've ever exploited this dynamic to have, because you're right. This would have been a terrible conversation with me and another fucking white dude.
Yeah.
Right. It would have had some validity to it, but you know, whatever. And that's why Idris Elba is better than Denzel Washington. So, I mean, we got to wrap this up real quick.
Yep.
Did you like the overall of Hijack?
I did. I thought it was pretty good. The ending was, it kind of says, hey, you want to know what else happens and whatnot. I don't think they should do another season. This is one of those shows I do not think they should do another season. Please. What show did they do that with? I can't remember.
So I could see them wanting to do, because what was genius about it is how the terrorists got people to do their work.
Yeah.
Right? Like even the fucking fact of, it's all about stock.
Yeah.
And that's like, wow, really? Like that's just, you're going to fucking crash a plane into the middle of London just to fucking, crash a stock that you
a lot of money.
And it's just like, wow, of course. That makes sense. That's how smart. And then use people like the fucking, you know what I mean? Like your family's dead if you don't do this.
Yeah.
And so I thought the way that they hijacked the plane was genius.
Yep.
I could poke holes in a whole bunch of different things. Even having the lady take over the controls of the plane at the end, who had nothing to do with the real terrorists that were on the first place.
Exactly.
and again in a diverse type of way. All the other different people on how they were thinking of it, how it would go. You know, like the dude standing or sitting beside Idris Elba. He had his entitlement type of way.
Yep.
The rich Muslim couple behind them, like he's like, you know, that they don't those guns aren't real, and he was right. The guns weren't real. He could tell, and he had like training in terrorist things or whatever.
Yeah, he was in the military.
The whole world, like the world's point of view, came together to inform them on if they should attack the hijackers and all that. Everybody had to get along for them to work.
Yeah,
and so like it was. I kind of liked that how that they showed all that. Like part of it was kind of weird. Like the fucking. Yeah, I'm not saying it was a bad show to watch because of this, but when the cops go to his house and there's a guy in a Dexter suit with his hands behind his back and just walk away.
That would never
so
happen.
I think in a way they kind of rushed how it ended like that.
Yeah, they tried to wrap it up. It was, I really feel like, I mean, obviously it was a show. That could have been a movie, but I like when there are a movie series like that where you can have like 7 hours of a movie that didn't feel too long.
But it was like a 7-hour flight that they showed in 7 hours.
7 hours. So it didn't feel long. That was great. And yeah, I don't think they should do a second season.
I don't either, but I think they can in a way that they would show
it would be a
what
money
they did
grab
to their families.
Yeah, but then how far do you go? Like,
I don't think they're going to do a. I don't think Idris Elba he's too busy to do those kind of things. Too important.
He might. Have you seen this show coming out on Netflix? So I'm pretty sure it's the same producers as Love on the Spectrum.
Oh, I'm all in already.
It's literally called Down with Love or Down for Love. I thought it was hilarious too. Selena got mad at me because I was dying about the title, but I'm like, they wouldn't have done it if no one was. Right?
How dare you laugh at that?
It was hilarious. Down with Love.
Oh
so I don't need to tell you anything else about the show because you know.
That's pretty. So I mean, if you can say Love on the Spectrum, then Down with Love.
Exactly what I said.
There's nothing wrong with Down.
Exactly. I thought it was hilarious, and it wasn't in a malicious way. It's funny, and it's obviously they're putting it on TV. So
to make us feel bad that we laughed at that title is wrong.
Yes.
You're too much of a social justice warrior.
Yeah.
The fact that we can't wait to, or I can't wait to watch that show informs me that I'm a good person.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm so watching this.
Love on the Spectrum is what is like, you would think, because I haven't seen it for the long time, is the thing that made me want to stop saying retarded.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're retarded, but grade 6 of me did.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm not that same person. And I hate that they feel it. And I would never defend Michael from Love on the Spectrum, say, I won't listen to your podcast because you say that word too much.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, I'm going to stop saying that word because you told me that. And I don't want other people to say that.
Yeah.
For me to just say, oh, I like that word, and I say it in a way. So Down with Love, that's those kind of shows, because they're the most honest people on TV.
Yep.
Right? Like it feels exploited, because we're putting the camera on them. We don't have to tell them to act or do anything. They don't have those social cues to like what I do is like, oh, he's looking for that right word. Can I trust that that's really what he's thinking?
Mm-hmm.
They just say it. And that's who they are.
Right or wrong.
And they're feeling, those dates are the most enjoyable dates to watch.
Yep.
Because they're just like, yeah, you know what? I don't like you. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And like, fucking God, I wish I said that so many times.
God.
Right? Like, stop
So
fucking
refreshing.
around. You're so human.
Yep.
And for the longest time, even I might not have given them that chance.
Yeah.
And so I really, when I watch those shows, I feel angry at the past me that might have not understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much of me should look at, not to pray, is this like, oh, how much is this world that we live in has informed me that they're better than me in a lot of areas.
Yes.
Right? They can show me an example of how to be a better person
mm-hmm.
instead of just othering them as intellect. You know what I mean? Like that spectrum word is great for that, because there's a different level of human you know what I mean? Like human expression. Mm-hmm. And we put so much, like ways on the proper way to say it, the proper words to use.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, well, you know what I mean? Like we should all be, but no, you should put more thought into how you describe, especially people.
I agree.
It's one thing to describe Legos, like that's trash or that's trash, because it's an object.
Yeah.
It means nothing. Our opinions mean, but when you're people, you're just putting too much of your opinion on a real conscious thing.
I agree. Right.
And so that's where and that's a great example. Just like, yeah, we're all the same. Like we're all, And when you like we are the same. By you thinking that you get to say words, I don't look at it like that.
Mhm.
I just look at it, like we used all the wrong words, we've used up. Like we don't have the fucking that same ability to say it because we've already said it wrong, or
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we've already used it in a.
You're
correct type of-
irresponsible.
I'm trying to be.
Not you, Jay.
Well, I am trying to be, but yes, we're responsible.
No, I said they were irresponsible.
Oh, I'm sorry. They are. They were irresponsible.
Yeah.
And so that track record is still there.
Yeah.
Oh man, Down with Love.
I think it's
down
going to be
and on
great.
Netflix.
Yep, on
God damn.
Netflix.
So we are probably going to be missing a couple of weeks.
Possibly, yep.
I will be in Vegas starting next week.
Partying it up with coworkers.
We'll see if we have any more embarrassing stories. Like, I don't know if I can top last year's.
You never know, Jay. Don't never say never.
Never say never, but I am. My intention is to be on my best behavior.
Well,
I am very carefully choosing my words here.
your intention is to be on your
I just
best
want to go
behavior.
have a good time, go karting. You know,
For sure, you're going go
I
karting.
hope so. I don't know.
Okay,
I haven't booked my ticket on the go kart track
but
yet.
you know where you're gonna go.
We have many plans that we. No, I
Okay.
don't really have the exact same place like to go for it. Like I haven't researched exactly where to go. Tammy's a really good researcher, so she's already got these places.
Perfect.
I'm resting on the laurels that she's the party planner of the group. She even told me today about something like there's like a one ticket that has like 6 different attractions you can do
Mhm.
for certain money. She goes, yeah, there's some bad reviews, this and that. So I don't know. It's kind of all up in the air.
Wait,
but
have you ever gone to the Grand Canyon while you've been in Vegas?
No, I've only been
Never?
to Vegas twice. So no, I've always gone the other way. I've driven to California, but I'm not fucking using my time to go look at a piece of dirt
Why would you not want
Or
to go to the
Hoover Dam?
Grand Canyon?
because I have a finite amount of time.
True, that's fair.
I'm going to go swimming or
You-
go sit in a car
Can I
for
ask you-
3 hours.
You do realize it is one of the wonders of the world, right?
Yes.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's
I've seen Niagara Falls a lot. That's one of the wonders of the world too. But
Okay.
I've seen Niagara Falls anytime I want. So you're right. I mean, I'll get into like fucking like there's aliens at the bottom of the Grand Canyon maybe.
Maybe.
So, but I mean,
Maybe you'd see one if you would go. Damn it.
if I'm there for 2 weeks, I'm going to the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
But it's all I can do to maybe go see that new dome.
Oh, that I want to see that.
There you go. So I'm gonna go to the-
badly. Oh my God, Jay! You don't know how badly I want to see that thing.
So I want to see the dome before I see Hoover Dam or fucking
Yeah.
Grand Canyon.
Come on.
I'll be going to Vegas again. You know,
Okay.
let's see. But, so, you know, if we can squeeze one in, we will, but
Yeah.
we probably won't be back for a couple of weeks.
Well, thank everybody for listening to the work-related podcast.
We are related by work on Twitter still.
On-
I love
on
those old
X,
words.
on X,
I
on X.
refuse to go ahead. Fuck you and your ex. Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.